Okay. Oh, fucking... Okay. Rachel's in the Twitch chat. That's cool, I guess. Anyway, are we good to go, boys?
Matt just dropped in, so...
Matt just dropped in?
Yep.
Matthew?
I had problems connecting to Discord, so...
Okay, don't worry, I did too, but it seems like we're all good now.
Alright, good. I'm on my phone right now, by the way, so... I'm on my phone, by the way, so I'm going to be switching to my computer in just, like, a second.
Okay, well, while you're doing that, I'm just going to get it started because it is 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
so
that's why I was like, full.
All right. Hello and welcome, everyone out in the ether, or no one, depending. Probably no one. Welcome to our special live E3 edition of the Bearded Banter Podcast. I am your host, Shane the Bearded One. With me momentarily before he switches over is my lovely co-host, Matt Legion Rex. How are you doing today, Matthew?
I am on my phone.
That's it. That's his emotion, is phone.
No, I am doing quite well today.
That's good.
It is a wonderful time to be a gamer.
It is a wonderful day.
Christmas. It is a second Christmas, which means that we have tons of shit to talk about.
We have tons of shit to talk about.
Almost like it's too much shit, and
of
my
course.
wallet can't take it. And I am going to hate myself for the next year and a half.
If you hear a dog barking, ignore it, because it is prime time for my dog to turn into a demon. He will be subdued momentarily. In the meantime, let me introduce our special guests for this live edition of our E3 Banter Podcast. With me, as always, is our lovely recurring guest, Spencer. How are you doing today, Spenny, my boy?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
As I was taking a drink.
Yep, huh?
I mean, I'm pretty dope. I got orientation today for my new job, so...
Good.
I won't be here forever, but I'll be here for as long as I can.
He will be here for as long as we can. Hopefully, he'll be here for most of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And also joining us for the first time on any podcast is our boy Aaron, making his podcast debut. Aaron, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm a little tired, but when am I not? So,
For those of you in chat, if something's up, type in the chat and let us know.
Okay.
That's usually how a chat works.
That's usually how chat works. They usually chat with us. Anyway, so we're here today to talk about
Rachel.
E3. We're here today to talk about E3 2018. If you're unaware, E3 is the biggest show of the year for games. It's where all of the companies and developers and publishers come out and announce all their big games for the next year and beyond. This is how we're going to do this, boys. We are basically going to go beat by beat through each conference, each press conference that was streamed at E3. We have 7 to go through, and we're going to go through each one, talk about each announcement that was made at each one, and then we're just going to talk in general about each conference, what we thought, and what was shown off. So, to ensure that we're not here for like 3 or 4 hours, I'm just going to lightning round, rapid fire through all the announcements for one conference. So, example, we start with EA. I'm going to rapid fire through all of
Are we going in order?
Yes, we're going in order.
Conference?
We are going in order. I'm going to rapid fire through all the announcements that was made at that conference. I request that everyone keeps their comments until the end, just so that we're not stopping and starting all the time and wasting a bunch of time. I request that you all keep your comments until the end after I've gone through each announcement, and then afterwards we will talk about the conference in general, what we thought, and the games that were shown off, just so that we're not wasting our time and that we can get out of here as soon as we can. Because if we stop and start all the time, we're going to be here for like 4 hours. So, without further ado, I think we should start with EA, aka the worst conference at E3. So, EA had their EA Play show, as they call it. They started with Battlefield 5, and they really showed nothing of Battlefield 5. They showed a very small teaser trailer for the new War Stories mode, and then they teased that they are going to have a new Battle Royale mode, which is unlike anything you've ever played in Battlefield or any other game. But they didn't really show anything of it. They just said, hey, it's happening, and then they left. So that was kind of disappointing. And they said, look forward to Microsoft's conference for a better look at War Stories, which we'll get to when we get to Microsoft. Next up was sports. Do I have to say anything else?
No.
Didn't think so.
Goal!
So they talked about FIFA 19, blah, blah, blah. No one really cares. They announced a release date. I think it's October. I wasn't even paying attention. I honestly skipped through all the sports shit. But moving on, here's something big. They announced this new program they're doing called Origins Access Premier, which is essentially a Netflix service for streaming games where you pay a subscription fee a month, and you can get a bunch of EA games and I guess other publishers' games streamed to any of your devices, so you can play them. That was pretty interesting, and it reminds me a lot of PS Now, which wasn't the best because, you know, streaming games over the internet isn't the ideal way to play video games. But if they can get it working in optimal fashion, maybe it could be good. They said it would be $15 a month, $100 for a year subscription, and that gives you access to a bunch of EA titles and other titles from other publishers. Next up, they had probably the most awkward segment in all of E3, was when, as Spencer graciously put it, knockoff Meg Turney went into the audience, and she's like, hey, I was sitting in the audience, and I just so happened to run into Vince Zampella, the CEO of Respawn Entertainment. How's it going? And he's like, it's going good. and then they're like, she was like, so you guys are working on a Star Wars game, right? And he's like, yeah, we're working on a Star Wars game. And she's like, can we get like a tease or any information about it? And he's like, okay, hold on to your butts. I've got a title. It's called Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and it's gonna be amazing. And then knockoff Meg Turner was like, wow, that sounds great. Based off the title, I assume we can play as a Jedi? And he was like, yeah, you get to play as a Jedi. And then she's like, does that mean we can use a lightsaber? And he was like, yeah, and it's gonna be amazing. It was just like the most awkward shit. Like, they had nothing to show. He's just like, yeah, here's a title, bye. And then they actually cut the stage, and it's one of the developers from DICE talking about Battlefront 2. And they're like, yeah, Battlefront 2 didn't have the best reception among fans, and we're sorry for that, but we're going to make it better. We have a DLC expansion coming out that's going to add a bunch of content from the Clone Wars. Obi-Wan and Anakin are going to be heroes that you can play as, and it's going to be great. And then everyone was like, okay, I guess Battlefront 2 is kind of a fucking abomination right now, so no one really cared. Moving on, the next thing they showed, they got into the EA originals, the indie games. And one of the surprise announcements was Unravel 2. Apparently, they made a full sequel to Unravel. It is now a full co-op game with a second Yarny. And the bombshell was that it dropped today. It's available now. Which, by the end of E3, became my favorite phrase, available today. So they showed off a gameplay demo of that, showing the new co-op mechanics with the two Yarnies. It basically just looks like more of the first game, which is all anyone could really ask for if you played that game, because that game's outstanding. And then they showed off a new EA Originals title called Sea of Solitude, and I know that Matt is really excited about this game.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's a new indie game being published by EA. It's about this girl who is experiencing crippling loneliness, and that's turning her into a monster. Her emotions are basically turning against her. And it looked to be a 3D platformer of sorts, but it was also really creepy in certain parts. It looked really cool. That's coming out in 2019, so that looked really interesting, and I would really love to play that. Next up was sports.
Specifically, football.
Moving on. No, they talked about NBA
Yeah,
Live
basketball
19.
first.
They talked about NBA Live 19, and then they talked about Madden, the new Madden 19, and there were some people on stage with a trophy. I didn't really pay attention because I got into this conference late, so I had the opportunity to skip through all the boring sports shit. I mean, if you're into sports games, that's cool. You got a new Madden, you got a new basketball game. Good for you guys.
I'm in the same boat with you, man. I just skipped over both sports.
I just couldn't deal with it because that's easily the most boring part of E3 is when EA talks about sports.
It's the same thing as last year.
Yeah. Next up was effectively one of the worst things at E3 this year was they were showing off this new mobile game. And they were like, look at this new mobile game. It's a real-time strategy game. You can fight enemy bases and conquer your opponents. And I was like, okay, what the fuck is this? I don't care. And then at the end, they were like, oh, this is the new Command and Conquer game. And everyone collectively groaned. Because Command and Conquer has now been delegated to a fucking free-to-play mobile game from EA. And it honestly didn't even look that interesting. Like, I've seen mobile games of that type that looked a lot better than that. So that was a thing. It's coming out, I think, next year, early next year. They didn't give a set release date for it. And then EA closed off the show with the big boy, Anthem, from BioWare. But they did it in a really awkward way. They had knockoff Meg Turney with a couple of the people from BioWare on stage having like a live Q&A session, basically, where she would ask them questions from Twitter about the game, and they would try their best to answer them on stage. And then they showed a gameplay demo that was like 7 or 8 minute gameplay demo of a mission in the game, where a couple of the Javelin mech users went off to infiltrate a cave to fight a giant spider. Honestly, looked pretty cool. And really, the only reason I'm interested in Anthem is because this looks like the Iron Man game that we never got. Because of those fucking suits. Mm-hmm. But they showed off that gameplay demo. They went more into detail about the game itself, the new Javelin suits, the different classes, the shared universe, and they gave it a finite release date. February 22nd, 2019 is when Anthem is coming out.
On another note, that's a big day for games, and we'll get to that in a second.
Like, every game under the sun is coming out on February 22nd.
Goodbye wallet.
Yeah, I saw a meme that was from the Eric Andre show that my sister showed me. Eric Andre with the gun was E3, and then the guy getting shot was my wallet. And why would somebody do E3 do this to us? But anyway, they closed the show with Anthem, so that was it for EA and their conference. Let's get into this. Let's start with Matt, because I know Matt has a lot to say about EA. So what did you think of EA's conference as a whole, Matt?
It was doo-doo. It had a it was a mess. It obviously this was a year that obviously didn't have anything to show, or anything significant to show, so they tried to stretch it out as much as they possibly could in order to make it seem important. We see this every once in a while with certain companies. They don't have anything to show. This has happened before. This happened with This has happened with Microsoft. This has happened with Sony. This has happened with Nintendo. This has happened with Ubisoft. This has happened so many fucking times before. Unfortunately, EA, I wouldn't say this is like the worst thing I've ever seen. I've seen far worse from E3, but like it's one of the this is definitely EA's worst showing in a while, especially after a couple years where they've been kind of decent.
Yeah, it was definitely the worst show of E3 this year, like without a doubt.
Yeah, easily, and for a specific reason I'll get into in a bit. But like it's what the obviously Anthem looks fantastic, and Sea of Solitude is dope as fuck. I'm really excited for that. And then there's the like you said, Unravel, but like literally nothing else really interested me. Also, to update something that you were mentioning about Battlefront, they actually fixed. They did a lot of stuff they mentioned. They actually already fixed it like a couple of months ago. So like loot boxes aren't even in the game anymore, pretty much.
Well, yeah, they said temporarily. They're
gone. They're permanent gone now.
Okay, good.
Basically, the only stuff you can get now are cosmetic. Literally, it's only cosmetic stuff now.
Okay, good to know that.
What they changed with the heroes now is that they're all available like automatically for everybody. It's just that now as you level up, you just naturally just get them.
Okay.
And I actually want to correct something. Shane, you said that EA was the worst conference. No, that goes to the PC gaming, which we aren't even covering today.
Well, that's the thing. Is we're not covering it.
That's
So
so
who cares?
we're not covering it.
Hey, Rachel wanted to watch it. I told you all. I said it's not a good idea. This isn't a good conference. And Rachel's like, no, I want to watch it. And then an hour and a half later, she's like, can we not? And I'm like, exactly. So that wasn't me.
Like, all right. The thing is, there's two particular things that I actually took away from the EV conference, for the EA's conference. First of all, is that that Battlefield 5 is either going to be the greatest thing ever or a fucking mess. Actually, there's three things. That Battlefield 5 is going to be a fucking mess or it's going to be the best thing ever. I'm leaning towards fucking mess right now because they didn't show anything at E3 this year, not just this conference.
No, they really didn't, did they?
That fucking worries me. Second, I'm really mad that didn't show anything of that new Star Wars game because that sounds dope. I need a new game. I need a new Jedi game in my fucking life to salivate my obsession, my unhealthy obsession with Star Wars.
We've got a title, and it's gonna be amazing. That's literally all Vince said.
I mean, I trust him. It's Respawn. So, but at the same time, I'm like, Liz.
It also seemed
we're probably gonna get it next year.
It also seemed like that segment where Knockoff McTurney caught him in the audience. It honestly seemed like she actually caught him in the audience because it looked like he was caught really off guard.
It really does. It really does. It seems like he has no idea what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
But obviously we need to talk about the atrocity, what they have done to my Command and Conquer. They have killed it. They have killed it, beaten it, and they have brought it back to life. As a mangled corpse, as a Frankenstein's monster, and I am insulted, disgusted, but mostly just sad. And mostly just sad. They have Dungeon Keepered it. They have Roller Coaster Tycooned it. They have destroyed a perfectly good series, and I'm perfectly and now I am very, very sad. And the only way they will redeem themselves now is to release a brand new Command and Conquer game, a proper one. Because what this is not Command and Conquer. What this is an abomination. And they tried to shoutcast it.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Don't even ask me, dude.
No, that was bad.
Okay, well, let's see what Aaron thinks. Aaron, what did you think of EA's press conference this year?
I honestly didn't think it was the worst thing I've ever seen. I've seen a lot worse come out of conferences like this. It wasn't good. By no means was it good. Really, the only two things that I took away from it were Unravel 2 and Anthem. Sea of Solitude was interesting, but it's really not my genre. I hate horror. I can't deal with it. And that just had a little bit too much elements of horror for me.
It didn't look like horror to me. It looked more like, it reminded me, if anything, in terms of tone, it reminded me of something. It reminded me of something along the lines of something like Ori, where it has a little bit of creep to it, but it's not necessarily the focus.
Yeah, but it seemed like the soundscapes were a real big part of it as well, which does not do well with me. It's a pansy, so there's that.
Okay, well, Spenny Boy.
Yes.
What did you think of EA's conference?
I'm actually going to be super contrarian because I didn't find it to be that bad at all.
Of course, Spencer's got to play fucking devil's advocate.
It was not the worst conference we will cover. It is not. Hands down.
I know what Spence's worst is going to be.
We might get to it, but this is not the worst one. Okay, so I'm gonna look at your list real quick, because Aaron, shout out to Aaron for giving me the list. Battlefield 5.
I also sent it to Matt. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Battlefield 5
Ignore
looks
that.
great. I really hope they call it Battlefield Royale. I don't care about FIFA. I don't care about Origin. I feel really bad. Her name is Andrea Renee. I think. Andrea Renee. You seem like a lovely lady. However,
She's trying.
But when you open the show with trying to do like a bit with the audience, this is never, ever talk to the audience during a conference. Never. The audience doesn't get the jokes. They're not in on the bit. So stop trying to involve them. Aisha Taylor was the queen of this when she used to do Ubisoft conferences. Never interact with the audience. They don't know what you're doing. Especially
Aisha Taylor's league's better than two anyways.
I agree.
Especially if you're Discount Meg Turney and you just go, it seems like it's going to be a good time, and then dude from Respawn goes, oh no, it's going to be a dark time. Like, that was, honest to God, one of the most cringy, quote-unquote, interviews I've ever watched.
Oh, it was terrible. It was awful.
Because he's like, we got a game, I guess, and she's like, oh, what about the game? And he's like, I could see him staring at her with that look of, motherfucker, I've signed an NDA. I can't say anything, you dumb bitch.
Like, honestly, all things considered, thinking back on it, it honestly seemed like he was caught really off guard. Like, they invited him there without telling him that was going to happen, and then it happened, and he was like,
Hey, it's literally...
Why didn't they put him on stage?
It's literally...
Why didn't they just bring him on stage?
I don't know, because it's EA, okay? But anyways, moving on. That looks like a game that may or may not exist. Honestly, I don't know at this point.
It could exist.
Can EA fucking show Star Wars games for fucking once?
Star Wars Battlefront 2 gets Star Wars Battlefront 2. Motherfucking Yarny!
I agree.
Yes! He came out again. I was so happy to see him. I was at Rachel's and when we rewatch, I'm just excited. Yarny gets me excited. When we rewatched it, and I'm like, hey, look at this man, Rachel. He's the most pure and innocent game developer you will ever see. He comes out here, and he did better than 2 years ago when he showed Unravel 1. But, or was it, sorry, what was 1 year there? 2, I think. You know you could just join voice chat, right, Rich? You know you can just join.
She honestly could. I don't care.
Yeah, it's kind of how a stream works. But no, I'm
Okay, denied.
okay. Denied. Ouch. Yeah, but I'm just like, listen, this man is pure and innocent, and
Like,
he's just, God, he's so nervous. I love it.
like
I love
the
everything.
thing. The thing about the Unravel reveal is that it was kind of leaked like right before the conference, so
I'm sure I feel really bad, and it's
because honestly, I jumped in. When I jumped in, they were just getting into the Unravel stuff, and I was like, "Oh, cool, Unravel." Wait, I saw a leak for this morning. All my excitement is gone.
I was excited, and then fucking CEO of EA, I forget his name, not Patrick
Andrew
Sullivan.
Wilson.
Andrew Wilson, thank you. Andrew Wilson goes, yeah, by the way, it's released today. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, And so then
Okay, Spencer, hurry
happened.
up. We can't deal with you rambling forever.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't go through everything next time. Don't. Just saying.
Oh my God, I'm just excited. You're fine.
Who
Whatever.
cares? Move on.
Who cares?
I didn't ask for the sass, motherfucker. Fine. Command and Conquer sucks dick. Fuck anybody who plays RTS games. You're human trash. There you go.
Oh,
Okay.
well, I guess I'm human trash then. Okay.
Okay, now let's.
Something I wanted to mention that I forgot about. This conference really seemed like EA was just trying to beg forgiveness from its fans. Like, it was a lot of apologizing for how they fucked up over the past year.
Yeah, that's not.
Anthem's
That doesn't
cool.
exactly.
I'm probably
yeah.
gonna buy Anthem.
That doesn't
There you go.
exactly incite confidence. When at every other turn you're like, "We're sorry for the shitty practice that we did, but we're getting better. I swear."
Yeah. I mean, I'll give them a chance, but I'm holding out hope.
I mean, it was better than them just not mentioning it at all. Because if they don't mention it
Yeah.
at all, it's like, okay, are they trying?
Look, man. When your stocks drop, so much that you literally fucking lose like millions upon millions of dollars because of one decision you made in Battlefront 2. It's I think you learn your fucking lesson.
Yeah. So that was it for.
The only way that was the only way that was going to make them learn, and the fact that then I'm pretty sure that and now they're like, okay, so it's done. Yeah, we ain't doing this again.
So yeah, that was it for EA's
And
conference.
if they do it again, they're done.
I'm gonna give it a 4. I was gonna give it a 5, but I'm gonna give it a 4 because honestly, the only thing I cared about was Unravel and Sea of Solitude, and Anthem looked pretty cool, but everything else was just honestly.
Oh, I'm sold on
dead.
Anthem. Anthem is definitely going to get that. That's on my list.
Yeah, I'm getting Anthem too.
It didn't say this
Definitely,
conference
100%.
though. Definitely not.
No. I have to give this one. I'm going to be a little more lenient and give it a 6, but that's because I don't have much experience with E3. So
Okay, Matt, what are you giving EA's conference?
I'm giving it a football out of a basketball.
You know what? Don't even give an actual score.
that's perfectly fine, man.
That basically sums up everything.
Yeah, I'm giving it a football out of a basketball. That is my official ranking of this
Okay,
podcast.
all right.
Not the podcast, the fucking of the EA3. That was essentially a shitty podcast. Is what EA did.
Yeah,
It's a
basically.
shitty podcast.
It was like one of those starter podcasts where everyone doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, and someone like
It was like that
unplugs
one
of the mics.
podcast. It was like that one podcast that Shane found online from like our school.
God, that was
And
awful.
we spent like 45 minutes roasting it. It was
Yeah.
great.
Spenny, what do you give EA's conference?
In the same vein of Matt, I'm going to give it a indie showcase out of a football.
I thought you were gonna
A real
give it
football.
I thought you were gonna give it a FIFA out of a Madden.
No, but it's a real football, not an American football.
Real football, aka a soccer ball.
Yes.
But anyway, so moving on. Next up was Microsoft. Just putting it right out there. Microsoft was my favorite conference this year because they showed off a ton of shit, but let's get into it. Also, disclaimer, our lovely Aaron made this lovely list of all the announcements for me. Thank you very much, Aaron.
You're very welcome.
The sources were from IGN, and IGN didn't have them in the exact order that the announcements were made, so some of these are all out of whack and all over the place, but that's fine. So let's start with Microsoft. So they started the show with showing off a teaser trailer, and it was basically just a lot of beauty shots, just a lot of environmental shots, not very many humans, and then at the very end, Master Chief showed up, and they're like, oh, this is the new Halo game. So the new Halo is called Halo Infinite. They dropped the number. It's not Halo 6, it's Halo Infinite. And they didn't
I thought it was when they showed out the trailer, I actually thought it was Fable at first, I'm not gonna lie. And then I saw the guns and I'm like, oh wait, there's something else.
There's another game in here that I thought was Fable. We'll get to that. So they showed off Halo Infinite. They didn't really show any gameplay. It was basically just a demo trailer for their new engine. And no set release date either. So we have no idea when this is coming. Probably in 2019, most likely. Then after the Halo trailer, our Lord and Savior Phil Spencer came out and did his usual Xbox speech about how Xbox is the unifying crusader of humanity, bringing us all together through video games. And he said that today they're going to show 50 games, 18 of which are exclusives, and 15 world premieres. And as we go through these, they had a lot of good premieres. But let's start off with one of my games of the show. FromSoft's new title, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, which was teased at the Game Awards. They showed a full gameplay trailer this time. It basically looks like Bloodborne, but with samurai, and I fucking dug that shit. It looked fucking awesome. That comes out in 2019. Next up, they revealed Just Cause 4, the newest entry in the Just Cause series, which was, again, leaked before the show, so no surprise here. But it looked cool. A lot of their focus on this one is dynamic weather. They focused a lot on tornadoes. And as soon as I saw the tornado, I'm like, as long as I can fucking wingsuit into a tornado, I'm sold on this game. So
yeah, you know people are just gonna mod it to shit though.
Oh yeah. So they showed off a gameplay trailer of that. It basically looks like Just Cause, but with tornadoes. And that comes out this year, December 4th, 2018. So that looks cool. Next up, they had a world premiere, a new Forza Horizon game. Forza Horizon 4 got revealed. Honestly, nothing really to talk about here. It basically just looks like another Horizon game. But I've heard those games are actually really good, and I've been meaning to play a Horizon game for a while. So
this is the first to tell you just how good it looks. To be honest, this is the first time I've given a shit about Forza ever.
You heard it here first, folks.
This is actually the first time I've given shit about Forza. That gameplay looked really good.
It looked
really good, and it
also
gorgeous.
It had my favorite man of all time, who one year when he was showing Forza just walks up and goes, "I fucking love cars."
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that was him.
Love cars.
I love to fucking drive them.
But anyway. So they showed off Forza Horizon 4, showed off a bunch of gameplay, looks really good. It comes out in October 2nd of this year, so look forward to that. Next up, they showed this game. It was like a first-person action game where a bunch of humans were fighting each other in a post-apocalyptic environment, and it looked strangely familiar to me. I was like, is this Dying Light 2? And then it was revealed to be Dying Light 2, so it's Dying Light 2. But they focused a lot on this game in particular. Apparently, it's all freedom of choice now, where the choices you make in the game dramatically affect everything in the world, down to the condition of the world itself, who you interact with, what missions you get, just a bunch of stuff. They're going all in with the choice making in this game, and it looks really cool. I liked the first Dying Light. It was like a cool parkour zombie game. So if it's just more of that with a little more depth with the new choice system they got here, I'll dig it. I don't quite remember the release date. If anyone can fill me in on
Google it
that.
right now for you.
I believe it was 2019, but I can't remember.
Dying Light 2. Just keep going out.
Okay. And next up, they showed Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It wasn't a gameplay demo, it was just a trailer. But this game looks really good. It basically just looks like more Tomb Raider from the reboot series, which is always a good thing because those games are fantastic. We got to see a little more of this at Square's conference, which we'll be covering soon. But this was just a trailer to hype people up. It had a release date a while ago, but they reiterated it. It comes out September 14th of this year. So, Tomb Raider this year. Woo woo.
Woo!
Anyway, then they went on. Then our Lord and Savior Phil Spencer came back out on stage, and he went into detail about the new acquisitions from Microsoft Studios. Apparently, they've been busy because they've been buying a ton of fucking studios to make games for them. They bought Playground Games, who are the developers of Forza Horizon. They bought Undead Labs, who are infamous for making a lot of zombie games. The big one for me was...
Did they do State of Decay?
I think they did State of Decay, yeah.
Okay.
I believe that was a big name as well.
I think they did State of Decay. The big one for me was Ninja Theory. They have acquired Ninja Theory to make exclusive titles for Xbox One, which is crazy because Ninja Theory has been on the ups over the last few years. They made the DMC reboot. They just recently made Hellblade. So now Microsoft owns them to make games for them, so that's really fucking cool. They also acquired Compulsion Games, which are the developers of We Happy Few, which we will get to momentarily because they did show more of that off. And then they announced that they've formed a new studio within Microsoft Studios called The Initiative, which are dedicated to making groundbreaking gameplay experiences, the likes of which we have never seen. So they announced 5 new studios joining under the Xbox brand, which is really cool. Especially Ninja Theory. Ninja Theory, I was pretty hyped about.
Undead Labs did do State of Decay, by the way.
Okay, good.
Also, there is no given release date for Dying Light 2, just it's coming.
We'll just say 2019 for now.
2019 for safety.
Okay. Let's just talk about We Happy Few because that goes right off of that. They showed a new trailer for We Happy Few. This game, even back when it was still in game, I think it's called Insider. Yeah, it was an Xbox Insider title, which is basically their fucking pre-alpha. You buy games as they're being developed. It looked really good back then, and it looks great now, and they finally gave it a release date. It comes out August 10th, so we're going to be finally getting the full version of We Happy Few in August. And then Bitchy Lady with the Eyebrows came out to talk about Game Pass, which honestly was the worst part of the show because it really didn't have to be there. She just talked about some new games that were coming to Game Pass, reiterating how the new Xbox exclusives come out day one. And she also mentioned this fast start thing, where I guess they're upgrading Game Pass so that titles within Game Pass can boot up quicker. I mean, okay. The whole Game Pass thing kind of seemed really pointless, but Game Pass is a pretty good deal if you really sit down to think about it. Moving on. Who wants some fucking anime?
Me.
Well, fucking...
I love anime.
I host an anime podcast. It's the Gap Podcast, which you can watch at youtube.com/the Gap Podcast. If you're a fan of that, Shane is my co-host, and we'll talk about some anime.
Hi. So anyway, Animu. Phil Spencer, before he left, said, "Oh, we got some good shit to show you. Here's the new title from Bandai Namco." And the thing that caught my eye immediately was the Straw Hat ship. And I'm like, wait, One Piece? There's already a One Piece game coming out. And then fucking Naruto shows up, and I'm like, oh god, no. So they had a bunch of characters show up. Fucking Frieza was blowing up New York City, I guess. And then fucking Naruto and his shadow clones kick the shit out of him. And then Luffy shows up and Goku. And they all beat the living fuck out of Frieza.
Frieza's dead.
Frieza's dead.
He never caught
Frieza's
it
straight
back.
up dead. And
Full
so,
disclaimer, I forgot the name for this game.
and
I
so,
actually just remembered it now. So
yeah. And so
Jump Force.
they revealed that this is a Jump Force, a new crossover anime fighting game from Bandai Namco. Looked very similar to J-Stars, but they're saying it's not a sequel to J-Stars. It's completely new.
If anything, it's more. If anything, it actually looks more like Ultimate Ninja Storm.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looked
it's-
very
yeah.
similar to Ultimate Ninja Storm.
That's a good thing.
Just my question.
That's a good.
My question is, how many properties are they gonna get in this thing?
It's Jump. They got dude. They brought in Death Note. I'm pretty sure that they'll bring in
That was the surprise reveal at the end of the trailer. Was Light Yagami and Ryuk standing on top of the Empire State Building, and it's like, oh shit, Death Note.
And they confirmed the plot of the game involves anime characters coming into our reality.
Yeah, they're coming into the real world to fight each other.
Like our reality too. So Jump exists.
So that was actually New York City. Little
Yeah.
did you know that wasn't a pre-rendered trailer. That was live footage from New York happening at that very moment.
It turns out we're fucked.
Turns out we're fucked because if Goku exists in the real world, there goes the Earth.
I can't wait to die.
Yep. So they announced Jump Force. That comes out in 2019. It was playable on the show floor. So it must be pretty far on in development. Moving on. My disappointment. Because I want this game to come out so badly because I love this series. But I've been burned before. They showed a new trailer for Crackdown 3. It was basically Terry Crews the game. Which is entirely okay. I'm fully on board
I
with
mean,
that.
Terry Crews is awesome. So
Yeah.
It's Terry Crews where you play as Terry Crews in the game Terry Crews.
Yeah. So they showed a new trailer for Crackdown 3. I'm very concerned because this game has been delayed and delayed over and over again. And my biggest fear is that it's going to get canceled the same way that Scalebound did. Because every time they show it every E3, and they're like, don't worry, it's coming, I swear.
This is the first time we've had a set release date for it, though.
But
So that's good.
no. They announced back in 2017 it was going to launch with the Xbox One X, and then they pushed that back too, so not the first time. So I've been burned before, Matt, I swear. I just want this game to come out because it's been in development hell for years and it keeps getting pushed back. I just want it to come out. They gave it a date of February. They didn't say when in February, just February 2019.
It's the 22nd.
Is it the 22nd? Fucking goddamn it.
Yeah, it's the 22nd.
But
That's the official date.
My biggest concern with Crackdown is that every time they show it, it looks completely different.
It might have gone through several phases of development. That's my guess.
And I think it's gone through multiple developers because the last time I checked, Sumo Digital wasn't involved in this.
We need a documentary documenting the shit that went down.
I need an
game,
Xbox
dude.
Insider documentary on the development of Crackdown 3. Because last time I checked, Sumo Digital wasn't involved, but I could be wrong. I just want this game to come out because it looks fucking awesome. It looks like everything I've wanted in a Crackdown sequel. And you know what? They're saying February. Okay. Let's see if you can deliver this time. If it gets delayed again, I think it's pretty much done. But we'll have to wait and see. Next up,
What if it gets moved up?
plot twist. Next up, I want to say they showed more of Battlefield 5, but they really didn't.
They
just, like,
trailer.
they
showed
showed
the literal exact same trailer, but with about 2 extra seconds.
they showed the same trailer from EA's conference, but with like maybe 30 seconds of new footage, and then they left. And I'm like, okay, just show nothing. Just show nothing.
Yeah, the same trailer again. Let's move on.
Yeah. So next up, was I wasn't sure what this was at first. It looked like PUBG but better, and then it was PUBG. So I'm like, okay, I'm confused. Didn't that already get a full release on Xbox? Why are they showing it? And then later it came out that this was just a tease for a new map that's being added, and I'm like, cool. You could have taken that 2 minutes to show literally anything else, but sure. PUBG.
The fucking out of beta PUBG actually looks better. So
I was actually convinced that was like a pre-rendered trailer because I'm like, PUBG doesn't look this good. What? PUBG doesn't look this finished.
Yeah, it doesn't look that, but no, that is actually the finished game. So I'm like,
fuck.
hey, it actually looks pretty good.
It could actually be good for once.
Except that's not how anybody plays PUBG.
Nope. No.
There was like more than 3 people on the screen at one time shooting at each other, and that's not how the game works.
No.
Unless the final game is going to have like a bunch of new shit.
Yeah. Who knows? Let's move on, shall we?
Yeah, let's keep this rolling. It's running a little long.
Yeah. So, next up, they showed a new trailer for Metro Exodus, which they revealed last E3. It looks like actual gameplay now, which is good, because it didn't last year. This was basically a release date trailer. They release date February 22nd. Holy fuck. Surprise, surprise. So that's coming out in February. That's cool. Next up, they showed a new trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3 at the Xbox conference. Fucking plot twist, am I right? But they showed a new trailer. Frozen World has been confirmed.
Frozen World, Tangled World, Ratatouille World.
That wasn't this conference. And even then, we're not even entirely sure if it's a world because it was literally just Sora and
Remy.
cooking. So
It could just be a minigame or something.
it could just be a fucking summon. He could just be a summon.
True.
That's what I'm thinking.
True, but I love this trailer though. I love it.
Yeah, it was a great trailer. They showed a lot, and then the plot twist at the end that Aqua has succumbed to the darkness.
He got norked.
I literally, as soon as that happened, I shouted, "Aqua, no!"
What have you done with my wife?
And then they didn't announce the release date in this trailer, but the release date has been confirmed, January 29th. So it could actually be happening, guys. Holy fuck. It looks good. Moving on. My personal game of the show. All the games at E3, this one was my personal favorite. They showed a trailer. It started with a giant black man and some people getting killed by demons, and I was like, wait a fucking second.
I thought this was Resident Evil at first.
I honestly thought it could be Resident Evil at first too. And then the van showed up, and fucking Dante and Nero showed up, and it's DMC5. And I screamed. I actually legit screamed when this happened. Like, this got the biggest reaction out of me.
The leaks were real. The leaks were real.
This got the biggest reaction out of me because I was literally like, oh my god! DMC5. They showed a gameplay trailer. Nero is returning. It looks like a mix between the reboot and DMC4 in terms of gameplay style. Confirmed, not reboot series. This is classic DMC. This is continuation from 4. Nero's back. Dante's back. The whole crew is back. And this looked fucking rad as shit. They didn't give us a set date, but they gave us a window. Spring 2019. And then the producer came out and he was like, have a great E3. And then he left. So that was cool. Next up, Todd Howard came out from Bethesda and showed a trailer for Fallout 76. And honestly, I don't really care. Because I haven't ever really been into Fallout. But it looked cool enough for what it was. We'll see more of it at Bethesda, obviously.
I think that Fallout 76 could be a great way to get, to have you try out Fallout. Because it definitely looks like a newcomer game, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. It looks cool for what it is. It comes. They didn't announce a release date during this conference. Bethesda, we'll get to it. Then there was a gameplay demo for The Division 2, and honestly, this is when I zoned out and went to the bathroom because I don't care about The Division. But from what I saw, it looked like an improvement on the first one, which isn't saying much because the first one was a fucking travesty.
Mess.
I will say this one made it on my list, not due to the Microsoft conference, though.
Okay.
We'll get
That trailer was not that good. It was showed much better later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, this straight. Yeah.
Moving on. They revealed there's gonna be Cuphead DLC, which I wasn't expecting because Cuphead took forever to make.
Turns out that this DLC is also going to take forever to make because it's not coming out.
It's coming out 2019. They're saying new bosses, a whole new aisle to explore, new stages, new charms, new weapons, everything. A new playable character with Miss Chalice.
Miss Chalice.
Miss Chalice, who, you sneaky devs, you tried to hide her fucking ability until the end, but I saw it. She has a fucking double jump. You can't hide that shit from me.
Oh, that's going to break us some areas of the game.
So that comes out next year. Also something that comes out next year, which I screened for as well, was new Battletoads.
They didn't show shit for it.
It was literally just a teaser. But as soon as the wave bike crashed into the wall, I'm like, fucking Battletoads, what? So this is an entirely new game being built from scratch. It apparently has a bunch of genre mix-ups. It has 4K hand-drawn graphics. It's hard as balls. 3-player co-op with all the Toads involved. Coming out in 2019. I wish I saw more, but that was enough to get me excited.
I can't wait to rage at this game.
Probably the biggest fucking cockblock of E3 was they showed a new skateboarding game and literally everyone freaked out at the same time. Skate 4, Skate 4, Skate 4. It's not Skate 4. It's a new game called Session. But it basically looks enough like Skate 4 to be the real Skate 4. So everyone calm down.
Essentially, it's even got some of the same staff as Skate 4.
Yeah.
If you squint your eyes and shake your head, it looks like Skate 4.
It's basically...
Someone in chat basically called it Skate 3.5. So...
It's basically Skate 4. Everyone calm down. It looked cool. Next up, they showed this weird indie game. Well, there was an indie sizzle reel that they have every year for ID at Xbox. Nothing from the sizzle reel really stood out to me, and it's because Cuphead's out. Because Cuphead has been the staple of the ID at Xbox reel for like years, and now that it's actually out, it feels weird that it's not there. So nothing from the sizzle reel really stood out to me. It was just a bunch of cool-looking indie games. One that they showed a little more in-depth was called Tunic, which basically looks like a mix of Link Between Worlds and Hyper Light Drifter. And it's got a cute little fox doing some adventuring. It looked cool. 2019, so that's cool. Basically showing that this list is not in order. They showed a new trailer for Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which I realized they showed near the beginning of the conference. This game looks outstanding. It looks phenomenal, just like the first game. It's basically graphics porn. Let's be real here. But they showed actual gameplay of it this year, and it looks like they're evolving the gameplay style a lot. It looks like Ori has a lot of new abilities. He's got buddies that he can call upon in levels, like the owl can help him glide over pits. It looks really cute and amazing, and I'm going to play it. It comes out 2019. Next up, Don't Nod came out, and they announced a new spin-off game in the the Life is Strange universe called The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. It basically follows a kid who has a really big imagination and thinks he's a superhero, but he's not, and it looks like his dad might die, and I could cry.
It looks cute. It looks so cute, but knowing Life is Strange, it's going to make me cry.
So they said it's set in the same universe. It is directly tied to Season 2 of Life is Strange. And it comes out on June 26th. So it's like 2 weeks away, and it's completely free. The whole game is free to play. So that was cool. Square announced that Nier Automata is getting ported to Xbox One. It's called Become as Gods Edition. It's going to include all of the previous DLC. So, hey, if you have an Xbox and never got to play Nier, do it, because that game is phenomenal. One of my favorite games of last year. Then I think an announcement no one really saw coming. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. So Tales of Vesperia is getting a Western release on Xbox One and PS4 and all that. It looked cool. That's pretty much all I can say of it because I don't really know much of the Tales games. Next up, Rare showed
anime.
Yeah, it's anime. It's anime. Rare showed a new trailer for Sea of Thieves. They got a couple DLCs coming out. One in July, one in September, where you go to a new island or whatever. Never played Sea of Thieves, so I have no idea. But that's
honestly not about during this one.
Yeah, but that's cool, I guess. Next up, they showed a game called Black Desert, which is like an MMO action game. This is the game I honestly thought was Fable because it looked exactly like Fable.
Black Desert Online looks like Fable. You're not. Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, it looked exactly like Fable, so I was convinced that it was, but no, it's called Black Desert. Hello. That comes out in 2019. And a couple more things before the end of the conference. They showed more Gears. Everyone's like, oh my god, Gears, are they going to announce Gears 5? And then the Marcus Phoenix pop funk busts through the wall, and everyone was like, oh. So they announced that they're making a series of Gears funk pop figures. They're also developing a mobile game based on that, like a pop funk Gears mobile game. They didn't show anything of it off. They just said, hey, it's happening. They also announced a real-time strategy game for Gears called Gears Tactics, which basically looks like Gears XCOM.
It's PC exclusive.
Yeah. And then they were like, yeah, we're just pulling your leg. Gears 5's also happening. So they dropped the Of War title. It's just Gears now, I guess.
Gears 5, but it looks great!
Yeah, they showed a trailer. They showed a story trailer with some gameplay intercut in there. It looks like more Gears, so if you like Gears, hey, that's cool. And Gears 5 is coming out sometime in 2019. And then after that, our Lord and Savior, Phil Spencer, came out and he said, Xbox is giving you the best gaming experience of all time. Thank you for watching. Have a great E3. And then the stage started glitching. And then on the screen came CD Projekt Red. And everyone collectively shit their pants. So they showed the world premiere for the new Cyberpunk 2077. Looks fucking outstanding. Not gonna lie, I was very impressed by this trailer. It basically looks like Blade Runner, the video game, which, yes, give it to me, inject it into my veins, because I will play the shit out of it. They didn't give a release date for it. They basically just said it's coming out when it's done, but you got the world-exclusive first look at Xbox's conference. And that's how they ended the show, with the fake-out for Cyberpunk. So that was a lot to cover because Microsoft was easily the biggest conference this year. Let's start with Aaron. Aaron, what did you think about Xbox's conference?
Honestly, the Microsoft conference was great. I loved it. I didn't get to finish the conference. I think I ended up dropping out right around when they were doing Black Desert. But everything else, it was a lot of things that are coming out, a lot of big news. I don't even think anything made it on my list, but that there's just so much on there. So I was impressed.
I mean, it was a very good conference. It was probably the best Xbox conference in the last few years, easily.
I would argue it was the best one this E3.
Oh yeah, it was definitely, it was my personal favorite from E3 this year. Matt, what did you think about Xbox's conference?
It was really, it was kind of, yeah. No, it was really good.
I was gonna punch you through this live stream.
Shane would have gone superpowers.
Yeah, I would have gone Super Saiyan and instant transmission there and ripped your head out.
I loved this because this was my second favorite of E3. I absolutely adored what Microsoft 50 games.
They didn't fuck around this year.
50 games, a bunch of premieres. They were like, you want fucking games? Give me some fucking games.
Fucking games.
And here's some fucking games. There's a lot to take in. I am a bitch for Halo, so Halo already is just, I love it already, even though it's not even out yet. Jump Force looks stupid, but I love it.
Fuck.
It looks like the idea of just jump characters coming into the real world is the absolute stupidest idea of all time. But I think that it looks wonderful. I just want to see Gear 4 Luffy fight Super Saiyan Goku in the streets of New York City. Hope because that sounds like an amazing idea.
This is an anime fan's wet dream.
Yeah, I think overall though, I think my favorite might have been Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I don't blame you because that trailer looked phenomenal.
Was Cyberpunk because I love the Witcher games. I love CD Projekt Red, but my real, I mean, as much as I love fantasy though, my real bread and butter is sci-fi, and to see them tackle a genre that has been historically not represented at all in video games, and that Cyberpunk is very, very interesting to me.
It basically,
we rarely get to see a game like this.
Like, it basically looks like Blade Runner the game, right? I'm not crazy.
You might be, kinda.
There's a bit too much
Too neon.
color.
It's more like, if anything, there's two kinds of cyberpunk, and this is definitely the more colorful, out there cyberpunk.
I'm glad that they went all in with the colorful aspect of it. I'm glad that it's not boring brown and gray cyberpunk.
Yeah, because that's a very common cyberpunk with like Ghost in the Shell, Akira. Akira, Blade Runner. This is more the crazy, colorful, sort of wacky cyberpunk. Although knowing cyberpunk, it's good. The plot is going to be anything but wacky, and it's going to be great. I honestly was also. I know this is going to sound like heresy, though. I was honestly not as impressed as Devil May Cry 5 as everyone else was. It still looks fucking great, but I feel like we didn't see enough of it. I felt like it was too pre-rendered for my liking. There was too many cutscenes, too much focus on less focus on the gameplay of Devil May Cry and more focus on the fact that, oh look, Devil May Cry 5 is back. Devil May Cry is back. Also, Nero looked like Dante from the reboot, and I don't know how to feel about that.
That's why I thought for a second it might have been the reboot, because he looked very much like the new Dante at the end of. I
was gonna be like, maybe it's a sequel to the reboot, and the reason he's got white hair is because the reboot's gonna do some course correction or some shit. Even though I was fine with the reboot, but whatever. But at the same time, it looks pretty. It still looks great. So. And I'm pretty sure that's all I really have to say. Everything else looked great, of course. But that's the stuff that stuck out for me.
Okay, well, Spenny, what did you think of Xbox's conference?
It was good. It took a lesson from the Sony School of Conferences and just went trailer.
Which ironically, Sony didn't do this year.
Didn't do, but we'll get to that at the end. I probably won't be there still. I'm gonna be kind of. This is like a super hot take in the gaming industry, but I'm not a really big fan of Phil Spencer.
Okay, how do we kick him out of the chat?
Well, because like hear me through, okay? Because Phil Spencer seems like an incredibly nice person, and I would love to meet him. However, every E3 he does the same thing. The Xbox is the most powerful console on the market.
Well, it is.
The Xbox.
I mean, to be fair, he's talking to investors. So
yeah, but I'm saying, but even then, it's no longer just investors.
This is still mostly investors.
Or you know,
it's not open to the public. It's not open to the public on the conference days.
He'll go in and be like, you know. So it's just he's the most business like speaking of the CEOs, and I still like them, and I love the conference. I mean, the new Compulsion game looks great. Devil May Cry looks great. I'm not interested in Sea of Thieves because Skull and Bones exists, so that's kind of I don't need
Is that what?
Yeah, I don't need to play it. Devil May Cry was great. I'm excited about that. New Halo, all that. Really nothing. It was just all around. It was a good. I'm excited about the new Metro. About it.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think
Hello.
that's everybody. Hello.
So, final scores for Xbox's conference.
I'm giving it a Phil Spencer out of Dante.
God damn it, Matt.
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I found it ran a little long with all the content, but that's not necessarily bad.
That's not a bad thing. I agree with Aaron. I also give it a 9 out of 10. Easily my favorite conference from this year, because just the amount of games they showed and the variety of the games that were shown off here, just really, really well done. Spenny?
I'm gonna give it a lack of knockoff Meg Turney out of a Luffy standing on an American flag.
Please, just let's just make a joke out of this entire thing. Please. But anyway, let's move on.
It was good. It was my second favorite.
It was good. Let's move on to Bethesda, which
I missed entirely.
a lot to talk about, but not really. Definitely not going to take as long as Microsoft.
Yeah, they didn't show that many games, but they showed a lot of stuff.
So,
No,
They
they didn't show that many games, but there was a lot to talk about from those games.
So they started with Andrew WK coming out and doing a musical performance for Rage 2, which I honestly thought that they were going to play the music over like a trailer or something. They didn't. They just did a musical number, and he was like, I love that because it's so memeable. Just Andrew WK jumping around stage, screaming at people, "Are you ready to die?" And then it just cuts to the crowd, and everyone's like completely stone-faced, no
How
reaction
dare you?
whatsoever.
Put some respect on his name. You fucking respect Andrew WK.
That man made a Gundam cover album.
An entire album of just Gundam covers.
But yeah, I liked
was
the
amazing.
music. I liked the musical performance, and then they got into actual Rage 2. They showed off quite an extensive gameplay demo. This game looks fucking awesome. This game looks like a mix between Borderlands and Doom, with a little bit of Mad Max, which makes sense because Avalanche Studios is working on this game with id Software. But yeah, they showed a lot of gameplay. It looks really cool. I'm actually very excited to play this. It comes out in 2019. So we're going to have to wait for a little bit, but honestly, after what they showed at this conference, I'm pretty sold. Then they went on to a bunch of boring shit that I didn't care about. They talked about Elder Scrolls Legends and how it's getting a graphical enhancement. Cool.
It's a card game.
And it's getting some DLC, I guess, or some updates. I honestly forget at this point because I wasn't
It's
interested
getting
at
a bunch
all.
of new packs.
Yeah.
It's getting a bunch of new packs.
And then I went on to Elder Scrolls Online, and they said that they're coming out with some new DLC. Wolf Hunter and Murkmire DLC are coming to Elder Scrolls Online. And then they showed a trailer for Somerset, which is already out. So I was like, why are you doing that? That's already out.
It looks fun. It looks Elder Scrolls, one of the most improved MMOs of the past couple of years. This looks a lot better than it did at launch, like leagues better.
Man, if only I cared about MMOs.
Yeah.
But yeah, they showed that. I thought the Somerset trailer was kind of pointless because that's already out, but that's just me. So going into this conference, everyone here knows, I went in the chat, I'm like, literally the only thing I care about in this conference is if they announce a Doom sequel. That's all I'm here for. I didn't think I was going to get it, because id's working on Rage, but holy fuck the madmen, they did it. They announced a full sequel to Doom called Doom Eternal. No gameplay, just a teaser trailer. But they're going the OG Doom 2 route. They're bringing hell on Earth, and that's all I could ever fucking ask for. So, That was amazing. Literally the only thing I wanted from this conference came true, and more, but we'll get to it. So that was great. And then they went on about Quake Champions. I guess I don't exactly remember what happened because I don't have much detailed notes. But I guess it's coming out of beta now? Is it getting a full release?
Yeah, it's getting a full release by the end of the year. More QuakeCon.
More details at QuakeCon, which happens in August. So that's cool. Not a PC guy, so I've never played Quake, but I've heard that they're pretty good games.
Do you like Doom?
I do like Doom.
Then you'll like Quake.
Good.
It's pretty much Doom, but with crazy looking Overwatch characters, essentially. So if you
Amazing.
like Doom, then you'll like a Quake a lot.
Yes.
So
Legit.
It's a lot like it's a lot like Doom's multiplayer, actually.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Doom's multiplayer is the biggest
It's pretty
biggest
much
comparison I can give.
It's pretty much Quake.
So moving on, then they talked about Prey, and they're like, it's been just over a year since Prey launched, and we've been blown away by your thoughts and your love towards this game. We love you, and therefore we're giving you new shit. We've got a free update coming, which is going to give a bunch of new game modes and more cool things, and then we're gonna have an actual DLC that's coming out early next year. And it's going to be a big story DLC. You're going to explore a new space station. You're going to fight new mimics, and it's going to be great. So, I played the demo of Prey, and it was pretty good. So, hey, more Prey for those who like it.
The good thing about this upcoming Prey thing is that it's actually a standalone expansion.
Yep.
It's not you don't need to own Prey to get it.
Which is good.
Yep.
More developers should do that.
You can.
Speaking
You can
of
play Frostpunk
standalone
now.
expansions, the one thing I didn't think we were going to get from this conference was more Wolfenstein. Guess what, motherfuckers? We got more Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein Youngblood.
So they announced a new standalone expansion for Wolfenstein 2 called Youngblood. It's set in the 80s, and you apparently get to play as BJ Blazkowicz's twin daughters. So it's a fully co-op experience. The entire game is playable in co-op with his two daughters. Holy fuck. I wasn't expecting this at all because I thought Wolfenstein just came out like 6 or 7 months ago. We're not going to get anything about Wolfenstein. But apparently we did. So this is very much in the same line as the Old Blood for Wolfenstein 1. It's a standalone expansion. You don't need Wolfenstein 2 to play it. It's a completely separate story. That comes out in 2019. And then they talked about some VR for a little bit. They said that the Prey, I believe it was called Mooncrasher. Prey Mooncrasher is playable in VR, and Wolfenstein is getting a VR mode or a VR game called, what was it called? I don't quite remember. Oh, it was called Cyberpilot. Wolfenstein Cyberpilot for VR, where you apparently get to take over the Nazi war machines and murder Nazis with their own fucking robots, and that sounded fucking cool as shit. And one thing I forgot to mention was the Wolfenstein developers up on stage. Like, 10 out of 10 performance, honestly, because we literally had someone on stage at E3 say, "You beat the ever-living fuck out of those Nazis."
Yep.
And that was incredible. So then they show all this, and they're like, "Yo, here's the real meat of the conference. Please welcome Todd Howard." And Todd Howard, poo-poo doo-doo head, came out, and he talked about some Fallout 76. So they went way more in depth with this. They showed the same trailer as Microsoft's, but then they actually got into some gameplay. So basically, what the leaks and reports said were true. It is an MMO online survival game, but it is completely playable in solo. So just putting that out there. This is primarily a multiplayer game, but you can play it on your own. So Fallout is now a shared universe where while you explore the wasteland, you can run into other players, which you can fight for survival, obviously. If you get killed, they'll take all your supplies, which sucks.
Yeah.
And then the fucking the literal bombshell is that they're putting multiple nuclear missile stations in the world so you can nuke the fuck out of people.
You just have to find the launch codes first.
You just gotta find the launch codes and go to a nuclear facility and you can fucking nuke everything.
And since it's a shared universe, if someone nukes that place, I think it's like perma-nuke.
No, it's
or something.
permagon. It's permagon.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder how they're going to approach the campaign if that's the case. If you can permanently destroy factions and places, how are you going to complete quests?
What if the quest is just never completed?
Yeah. Like, what if you nuke a pivotal location that you need to advance the main campaign and you just can never finish it?
You do realize that that's the first thing fuckers are gonna do. Be able to do that.
Yep. Everyone's gonna go for the launch codes and nuke the fuck out of each other.
I have a feeling they're gonna have to reset the entire world after like a month.
Yeah, like this game is gonna go to shit real quick.
Yep.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
But they showed off a lot of gameplay. They showed off the nukes thing, and then they announced a collector's edition which comes with a power armor helmet. That looked cool. And then they announced a release date. It comes out this fucking year, November 14th. So, Fallout this year, November.
Yeah.
And then they moved on to some Elder Scrolls. Honestly, didn't much care for this, but I know some people are excited about it. They announced an Elder Scrolls mobile game called Elder Scrolls Blades. They basically said it is a full Elder Scrolls experience on mobile. And honestly, I was kind of impressed by what they showed because this looks like above and beyond any other mobile game I've ever seen.
This looks ambitious as fuck.
Yeah. But they also said
it's also
that
going to drain the battery on my phone.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a battery drainer.
Oh, dude, this looks like Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Arena. There we go. The first Elder Scrolls.
Yeah,
it does,
English. Yeah. Spencer, English.
I'm trying, man.
So they showed this off. They showed a gameplay demo. It's very intricate. It's got full character customization. There's online features. There's a main quest line. There's a bunch of shit in this game. But they said that they're not confining it just to mobile, that they're going to port it to as many consoles as they can. PC, VR, PS4, Xbox One, maybe even Switch. Who knows? But you can pre-order it now because it comes out later this year. They didn't give a specific date, but it is coming out by the end of the year. So, I didn't really much care for it because it's a mobile game, and I'm not into mobile games, like, at all. But from what they showed, it was quite impressive for a mobile game. And then, they ended the conference with a couple things. They were like, yo, check this shit out. We got a trailer for our first original IP in over 25 years. Take a look. And it was literally just space for a little bit, and then Starfield. So, the Starfield thing is true. It's the new BioWare IP from BioWare Game Studios themselves. They are developing it themselves. You mean
Bethesda?
You mean Bethesda? BioWare?
Yeah, sure.
What is this?
Whatever.
Mass Effect?
I've been sitting here for like an hour and a half, okay? I've been talking and you fuckers haven't, so fucking cut me some slack. So it's the new Bethesda IP in over 25 years, which surprised me, because I'm like, really, you haven't made a new game in that long? What the fuck? But, yeah. So, if it's basically Elder Scrolls in space, sold. They didn't give a set date for it. 2019 at the earliest, I assume. But then they're like, we've got our future planned out. Starfield is our next big release, and then we're thinking even beyond that. So here's a look. And Todd Howard, being the cheeky bastard he is like, yeah, you guys wanted this for a while, so fucking here, have it. And then they just showed like a 20-second teaser trailer basically saying, yo, Elder Scrolls 6 is happening. They had nothing to show because it was literally just, yo, this is happening. It was basically just the Metroid Prime 4 trailer of this E3. It's happening. Mm-hmm. Shut the fuck up. and that's what they ended the show on.
Stop tweeting me, please.
Yeah, stop tweeting, please. Oh, it's not in my notes, but I also forgot that fucking Todd Howard, being the meme lord that he is, announced Skyrim Very Special Edition for Amazon Alexa.
Oh, this shit.
Which is like a voice-controlled text-based version of Skyrim, and they had a really funny sketch with Keegan-Michael Key in it. Apparently, though, that's an actual thing that you can play on your Alexa. Like, it's real.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, it's actually real.
Yeah, it is.
You also missed one of my favorite quotes, which is when he was talking about the special edition for Fallout 76. And he goes, there's a map, and it glows in the fucking dark.
And it glows in the fucking dark. I was kind of excited about that. But yeah, that's it for Bethesda. Not a lot of things here, but what they showed was pretty good quality. So, let's start with Spencer. Spencer,
Yeah.
in 40 words or less, what did you think of Bethesda's conference?
Put some respect on Andrew WK's name. And Bethesda was a good conference overall, with a lot of good games coming out soon. Also, Fallout looks dope, and so does Rage. I will probably play Rage.
I agree. Rage was probably, aside from me fanboying out about Doom and Wolfenstein, Rage was by far the coolest thing at this conference. It looks really, really cool. Matthew, what did you think of Bethesda's
Wait,
conference?
no, I have 3 more words left.
God damn it.
Prey becomes Gmod. There you go.
I mean, it already
All
kind of
right.
was. Anyway, Matt, what
All
did you
right.
think of Bethesda's conference?
I really liked it a lot. It's Bethesda. No, it was a much better conference than last year's stupidity. This conference reminded me of Bethesda's original conference where they announced Fallout 4 and just how good that was.
Mm-hmm.
This was on that level of just how good it actually was. I loved this conference. It was a lot of energy, a lot of fun. When Todd Howard is on stage, it's always a fun time.
Andrew WK, put respect on his name!
Yeah, Andrew WK was great. Probably my best of show is obviously Fallout 76. Because we got the most of it. It looks absolutely fantastic, and I love Fallout, and this is just more Fallout, so that's great. I'm pretty sure next year we'll get stuff on Starfield and maybe some stuff on Elder Scrolls. Probably not. Elder Scrolls is probably post Starfield. I'm just real, and just everything else just shown was also great. I can't really think of anything truly bad that was shown. Even Elder Scrolls Legends, which I don't give a shit about. It's not bad. So like there was nothing there that was like actual dog shit. So it's one of those. So it's a case of like, yeah, it was a really, really solid, really great conference overall.
Good.
I'm just gonna cut you off right now. I gotta leave to go to orientation. So y'all have a good rest of your podcast. Aaron was with me when we watched Ubisoft and Sony, so he could basically explain my opinions. And just to get this out of the way real quick, I was right. Resi 2 remake. Let's go.
Fucking
I'm jumping the gun a lot,
spoilers!
but I'll
Spoilers,
see y'all later.
Spencer!
Fuck off. See you guys.
See
I
ya.
would have mentioned it if he didn't, so. See ya.
Okay, well, Spencer has left the
There
building.
he goes.
So let's move on to our next conference, which we won't spend too much time on because honestly, it wasn't great. Square Enix. So this was the first Square Enix conference in what, like 2 or 3 years? So
They have one every once in a while.
So everyone was expecting, for some reason everyone was expecting this to be like a huge blowout show. Kind of ended up being a disappointment, but we'll get into it. So what they started off with was an extended gameplay demo of Shadow of the Tomb Raider. They focused on a very stealth-heavy section with Laura stealthing through the jungle to kill some mercenaries. And man, I remember when she was innocent in the first game. She didn't want to kill.
I remember when she was innocent. I remember in the in the olden days when she had triangle boobs.
Yeah, I remember
I-
the polygons.
I remember when the days where she didn't kill people. She just raided tombs.
I remember when she wasn't a fucking murderer. But anyway.
I love how now she's gone from sweet innocent summer child and we must protect to whoa bitch calm down.
Whoa bitch, put the pickaxe away. Stop. Anyway, they showed an extended gameplay demo of Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Looks great. It just looks like more Tomb Raider, which if you played any of the other games in the reboot series, fantastic games. So if this is just more of that, we're sold. Again, comes out September 14th. Then they showed some new stuff for Final Fantasy XIV, the MMO. They showed a new expansion called the Evilice expansion. It's adding some new shit. I can't really say anything about it because I am not an MMO guy, but it looked cool nonetheless. And then the big surprise was that they're having a crossover event between Final Fantasy XIV and Monster Hunter World. So there's going to be some cool Monster Hunter shit in Final Fantasy XIV coming soon, so that's cool. They showed another trailer for The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. They had a little developer interview diary segment where they talked about how it's connected to the Life is Strange universe, how this game is directly correlated to Season 2 of Life is Strange, and there are some characters and plot points that are interconnected between the two. And again, they reiterated the entire game is free, 100% free. So again, that comes out in like 2 weeks on the 26th, so that's really soon.
So get it. There's literally no reason for you not to get this.
Yeah. Next up, they showed Akira Toriyama. I mean, Dragon Quest XI. Because
Which I was just confused about. I'm just like, why?
Fucking as soon as Dragon Quest characters show up, you know exactly what it is because it just looks like Toriyama.
Yeah, it looks like Dragon Ball.
It just looks like Dragon Ball because he is the character designer. So I was like, oh, hey, Dragon Quest. I knew exactly what it was.
Also, at this time, I didn't know whether it was Dragon Quest or Blue Dragon, and I'm just like, no, Blue Dragon's not coming back.
No, definitely not. So they had a trailer for Dragon Quest XI. A new version of Dragon Quest XI is coming out for the PS4 and the Vita. I don't have an exact release date. I believe it was sometime later this year.
Dragon Quest XI has been out in Japan for a little bit, so it's basically just coming to the West.
Yeah, it's just coming to the West.
Finally, because I really like Dragon Quest, so and I'm excited to play it
with my hands. My human hands. Anyway, moving on. They showed a new IP, and I was kind of interested in the trailer leading up to the reveal, but I wasn't too interested. It looked like, standard fantasy affair with, like, knights and medieval times and all that. And then the bombshell that Platinum is developing it, and I was immediately like, go on. So, they announced this new IP called Babylon's Fall, being developed by Platinum in conjunction with Square, comes out next year. No gameplay, just a cinematic trailer, but if Platinum is working on it, I am fucking on board.
It hasn't gotten me completely sold yet. I am intrigued and I'm going to be following it, but I'm not completely sold on it yet.
I mean, I'm a sucker for Platinum, so as long as it's good Platinum, I'm all for it.
It's not Kiyama's not working on it.
Yeah,
so it's some team.
So next up, they showed a new trailer for Octopath Traveler, which I was expecting at Nintendo show, but I mean, okay. Mm-hmm. So they showed a new trailer for Octopath. Again, it comes out July 13th. The big thing about this trailer was that they announced a new demo coming to the Switch eShop, I believe today, actually. Launches today, the 14th. And the cool thing is that your save data in the demo carries over to the full game. So that's cool. I thought they would have done that with the first demo, but then I realized they released the full demo like almost a year ago. So, smart move, releasing a new demo for this game. It comes out in literally a month. And if you have a Switch, go play it. If you're into Final Fantasy, go play it if you can. Your save data will carry over. So next up, they showed a more in-depth look at Just Cause 4. Again, they're focusing a lot on the dynamic weather system. It's going to play a big part in how the game operates. They showed some new gadgets and weapons that Rico is going to be using. Again, just looks like more Just Cause. So as long as it's good, I'm all for it because I love Just Cause 2 and 3. So there's that. And then they showed this weird trailer. It started off in live action with a couple of thugs in an alleyway, and a dude showed up with a bag, and they were like, "Yo, get the fuck out of here, bro! What are you doing? Get the fuck out of here!" And he points to his ear, and he's like, "No." So he's a deaf protagonist, which is interesting because you don't see many of those. And then the thugs approached him, and it transitioned from live action into gameplay. And then it was literally just him beating the fuck out of these thugs, like brutally beating the fuck out of them. And then the title was revealed as The Quiet Man, which is a brand new IP coming to PS4 and Steam. No set release date. I assume sometime in 2019. But they said that there's going to be more info in August. So that looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the more interesting things that they showed in this conference. So we'll see more of that in
a couple months. It made my list. It definitely made my list. I am very intrigued with it. The fact that when they switched the gameplay, there was like no soundscapes in it was very interesting.
Yeah. Well, just the fact that
that's gonna be fun.
Just the fact that he's a deaf protagonist is just really interesting because you don't see any of those in games.
Yeah, you don't see those anywhere.
No. And then they ended the conference with basically the same trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3 that was at the Xbox show, but there was a couple other things in it. This is where they showed the Ratatouille stuff. Again, I don't think it's going to be a full world. I think that it's just going to be a summon from the looks of it.
Look, man, I just want Remy.
Yeah, it just looked like Remy's going to be a summon. It doesn't look like a full world or anything, which is unfortunate.
I want to make food with a rat.
Because I would assume if they're doing a Ratatouille world that Sora, Donald, and Goofy would be rats themselves, but they weren't. So I think he's just going to be a summon. But at least he's in there.
Or it's a minigame.
It could be a minigame. Who knows?
Yeah, I would love a maybe you make it a food.
Yeah. So it was basically just the same trailer with some new stuff thrown in there. They showed some more organization members. There was Larxene. There was Xigbar. I can't remember if it was this one or the trailer at the Sony conference, which we'll get to, that had Zexion, and I think it was the Sony one.
That was a Sony one.
But they also showed Hayner, Pence, and Olette in Twilight Town, so they're coming back. That's cool. It was basically just the same trailer with a couple new things added in there. Nothing too special. Again, January 29th is the release date. And then it ended.
And then the conference, and then just ended.
And then it ended.
No, but it just... Yeah.
And I was like, what?
I want to go into Kingdom Hearts. Obviously, Kingdom Hearts was the standout of that show,
which is unfortunate,
me, at least
because everyone's excited for Kingdom Hearts. So the fact that it's the best thing they showed at their own conference speaks volumes of the quality here.
Yeah, but like I want to talk about because all the new stuff they've been showing looks great. Like all of it, like absolutely all of it. I love it. All the new worlds they're showing. It's very rare in a game I can say, yeah, I love everything they're showing. But literally every new world they've been showing for Kingdom Hearts, I'm just like, yes.
Which we'll get to in Sony's conference, because there was not a new world per se, but another world reveal.
Yeah, like the Toy Story world continues to look fantastic. I love the Monsters Inc. world. It looks like exactly Monsters Inc. world. The Hercules world we saw like back when the first gameplay was revealed, and that looked great. The Frozen world looks stellar. We didn't see much of the Tangled world, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be great as well. Like it just looks.
They haven't shown anything of Big Hero 6, which was one of the first worlds they announced. So is it even going to be in the game at this point?
I still think it's going. I think it's going to be there. I think they're just hiding it. Maybe it's got some major plot shit. That's the hiding. That's probably what it is. That's what I'm guessing.
I'd be fine with that as long as it makes it into the game.
The real disappointment of this conference, though, was not the fact they didn't show. Was the fact that wasn't the games they actually showed. Was the fact there was a stunning lack of Final Fantasy VII or that Avengers game they announced. Yep. Where were they? Where the fuck were those games?
Nowhere to be seen. At all at E3.
Nowhere to be seen at E3 at all. The Avengers game was not there. Neither was FF7. which makes it the third year in a row that FF7 is MIA with no new announcements onto where the fuck it is.
This just shows that Square really needs to calm down with announcing games because they clearly announce shit way too early.
I feel like that and also from what I've heard from FF7, and this is just a tidbit of a rumor, is that apparently they've completely restarted FF7.
Yeah, I've heard that too. They've started from scratch.
It's not it's like, oh yeah, all those announcements from a couple of years ago that it's going to be episodic, and then all the games are going to be, but all the episodes are going to be the length of a standard Final Fantasy game. So it's going to be basically like the final thing's going to be like 300 hours and be like this fucking monstrosity of a game. I mean, this is a huge ass like final experience, and it's going to be like the best Final Fan. Like it's going to be it's going to be more like FF15. Yeah, it's not that anymore. Apparently, it's like they completely restarted from scratch. So what I'm guessing is that they probably bit off more than they can chew.
Probably.
Look, I'm still gonna get it because I hate myself, but like I just want to see more of it so that way I can confirm that it exists and it's not vaporware.
Yeah, hopefully it's not vaporware at this point.
And then that Avengers game, where is it?
Yeah, remember when they announced that like a year ago?
It was in January of last year, but there's been literally nothing since.
Again, Square needs to calm down with game announcements.
Yeah. So overall, that conference was not great.
That conference was...
It was...
Like...
yeah, it's like...
Like, the stuff they showed off looked great. But the fact that it was only half an hour, and the fact that the two big games that everyone wanted to see were strangely absent.
Yeah.
So, Aaron, what did you think?
Honestly, the only things that really caught my eye were The Quiet Man and Babylon's Fall. I know you're really interested in the Octopath Traveler, Shane. You've talked about that a few times with our friend Alex. And I'm not a huge fan of Kingdom Hearts, so I wasn't too thrilled about that. I just can't get into it. It's not my thing.
Very weird. It's very weird. It's very weird. Trust me.
Honestly,
it's very weird.
Honestly, at this point, to get into Kingdom Hearts, you got to play like 9 games.
Yeah,
I'm not going to get into it, so I'm fine with that. Yeah, really, it was a quite short one, which I don't mind. It's just I would like to have a little bit more context for some of those trailers that they put out.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
So, okay, for Square, I'm kind of conflicted on the score that I want to give them because what they showed off looked really good. But there was some strange absences, and the fact that it was very short. Just based on the quality of what was shown, I'm going to give it a 6. I was thinking of a 5, but the quality of the stuff they shown bumps it up.
I'm going to give this a murderous Laura out of Sora.
Son of a bitch.
I'm actually going to brutalize this one and give it a 4 out of 10.
Whoa, okay.
Ugh.
Yeah, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I realize that the formatting just really didn't tell us a lot.
Fuck.
And that's just really bugging me.
Damn, okay. 4 from Aaron for Square Enix. Alright.
Damn.
Let's move on. The next conference was Ubisoft. Ubisoft always has an interesting show, per se. So let's get into it. Of course, as they start all of their conferences at E3, there was a big old dance segment for the new Just Dance game, which came out after the conference that it's releasing on not only the Wii U, but the original Wii and the Xbox 360 with Kinect support. So Ubisoft
all the way back to the Wii.
So Ubisoft are a bunch of mad lads.
Yeah, Ubisoft knows that the only people who play Just Dance are like really young people, or like really fucking really young kids,
yeah,
or like families who are like older like families who don't who aren't really big into gaming.
So
like it's one of those.
You mean casuals?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So pretty
It
much.
was a fun party game. I will say that.
If you're into dancing,
I'm not gonna deny that. Yeah, Just Dance is fucking fun, but at the same time, putting it on the Wii is actually kind of a smart decision. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So it's especially considering that there's a lot of people who I still know people who still have Wiis. So there's a lot of people who still have Wiis. Yeah.
I mean,
it's one of those.
Technically, I do, but not really.
Yeah.
I bought it with my sister years ago, and now it's just sitting in my parents' place.
I have a broken Wii. Does that count?
Sure. I mean, it's still there.
I have a broken Wii. It still exists. It's still on. It's still with the consoles. It's still there. We just haven't moved. Okay, it's not necessarily broken. We just don't use it. But but Just Dance was a fever dream.
Yep, as it always is. The panda in the Marcher's outfit was kind of creeping me out. He had he had weird eyes.
He looked like a horrifying abomination.
He did. He really did.
But at the same time, Ubisoft, the way Ubisoft does their conferences, they're always tons of fun. So I don't mind.
Yeah. So next up, starting off big, which I wasn't expecting. They started right off the bat with Beyond Good and Evil 2. They showed a a new cinematic trailer, which bombshell reveal Jade is the bad guy.
What have they done to her? What have they done? What have they done?
All right.
What have they done to my wife? What have they done to my wife?
So Jade is evil now, but they reiterated that this is still a prequel. So,
which I actually didn't realize until this conference. But
yeah, who knows how this is gonna play out?
She's probably gonna turn back to good. She's probably gonna. Maybe this is the story on how she became a good girl.
Yeah, who knows? So they showed that trailer.
That'd be interesting, actually.
Yeah. So they showed that trailer, and then they showed some pre-alpha gameplay, just stuff that's in the works. Honestly, what they showed, I was really into. Like, it's a big sci-fi open world game where you can just go around and do missions, and you have a jetpack so you can freely fly around the world.
Was that the bit on the Starbike as well?
What?
Was that the bit on the Starbike as well, the gameplay?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, you can freely explore the area, and you have a jetpack so you can freely fly around. It looked really cool. They didn't give it a date, obviously, because it's Beyond Good and Evil 2. It's going to be done when it's done. But it was really cool to see that trailer. Next up, they showed some stuff from Rainbow Six Siege. Not really anything new for Siege. They just talked about the esports tournaments that they got lined up. They got a couple tournaments throughout the rest of the year. One in August, one in November, and then the finals are happening in February, which, if you're into esports, cool. They also announced that they're making a documentary about the esports circuit for Rainbow Six. So that's happening. I honestly
I'm
wasn't.
gonna watch it.
I'll probably watch it, but I wasn't too interested just because not into esports. But people who are, cool stuff. Then they came out with The Division 2, which they showed another new gameplay demo, which, can we talk about why Ubisoft feels the need to really force gamer speak? Like, gamers don't talk like that.
No, it's like...
It was very clearly...
They do it every time.
They do it every time, and it's always very clearly fake.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I first heard them speaking, I thought that they were saying, like, this was in-game dialogue, not, like...
No.
And I'm just like, nobody talks like this.
Nope,
this is so...
They did the same thing with the first Division. It was all forced gamer speak, and it was all scripted, and it was just, ugh. But they showed some new gameplay of that. Another separate demo from what was at the Xbox conference. Still not that interested because it looks exactly the same as the first one, so I don't really care, but it does look like an improvement. So I'll just say that. And then they announced that 8-player raids are coming to the Division 2, and I was like, wow, that seems like something that should have been in the first game. Congrats.
It really should have been.
Way to go,
really should have
Ubisoft. So yeah, they announced that, and they announced a release date. I believe it's March 19th, 2019. It's either the 19th or the 16th. It's sometime in March next year.
It's the 19th.
Yes, okay. So there was that. And then after that, they went into Trials Rising, which is a brand new Trials game. Which I kind of like the segment because they had one of the developers come out on a dirt bike and he was wearing a fucking full racing getup and he crashed through a pedestal and it was kind of cool. I was just like, I was just like, this is cringy, but it's the kind of cringy that I don't actually mind, so I'm okay with it.
It was. I thought it was.
Yeah.
So like, I thought it was good. Yeah.
So they announced Trials Rising, brand new Trials game coming out. Honestly, doesn't look much different from any of the other Trials games, but the Trials games are good, so I'll give it that. They announced it's coming out next year. Lo and behold, February 22nd. Just why? Every fucking game.
Goodbye money.
Yeah, goodbye money come
Goodbye
February 22nd because you got like 17 games to buy. So there was that. That was cool. They moved on to a new trailer for the Mario and Rabbids DLC, Donkey Kong Adventure. And they did this pretty well. They had Grant Kirkhope come out with the critical hits, and they played a live performance along with the trailer, which is what I thought they would have done at Bethesda's for Rage, but they didn't. They did it here with Donkey Kong. And it was great. It looks like more Mario and Rabbids, but with some new stuff added with Donkey Kong. The game is great, so just more of that is always a good thing. And that comes out.
First time the Rabbids are actually funny. It's just the first time the Rabbids are actually funny.
Yeah, I know.
So.
And that is also coming out June 26th, so it's like right around the corner. Next up, they went in depth with Skull and Bones, their pirate game that they announced last year at E3.
BOIS. This is my game.
Oh, this is Aaron's game,
BOIS.
apparently.
I love this game. I want this out so badly.
This game looks fantastic.
So they showed a new gameplay demo. It was an extended demo, a full match from Skull and Bones. Honestly, kind of a little drawn out. I was kind of getting bored of it by the end, but I will not deny that this game does look fantastic. I'm not sure if I would play it, because I'm not sure how interesting it can be if it's literally just the ship battles. But, you know,
They said they're adding in other stuff. There's treasure, it's mostly ship battles. Like they said, like it's like think Sea of Thieves. It was more focused on like the tactical, like the aspects of actually controlling a ship. And they said they're also adding gonna add stuff like gonna add like creatures. They're adding like the Kraken and stuff. So
yeah, so that looked cool. No release date, 2019, sometime next year. Then they went into For Honor a little bit, which I was confused at, because I'm like, For Honor's been out for like a year. But they announced a new DLC expansion for it called Marching Fire, where they're adding a new faction into the game. And that looked cool. Again, I'm not super into For Honor, so I don't really have much to say about this, but what they showed did look nice.
ooh, the Chinese.
The Chinese.
Adding in the Chinese.
They're adding in Chinese with swords.
The China.
Uh,
But it's one of the. I'm just excited that the Chinese are in that there's a new faction, because that means that it gives me reason to play the game again.
Yeah.
So
which you can, because they also announced that they're making a starter edition of the game free to play coming soon. So it's basically like an extended demo. You get a very base version of the game that you can play for free just to try it out. So if you haven't played For Honor, now's the time, I guess. Next up, they went into Starlink Battle for Atlas, which they announced last year, but they showed more of it this year. This basically looks like a better No Man's Sky mixed with Disney Infinity.
Yeah, and it looks someone's called it No Man's Skylanders essentially, which Starlink has always been like one of those things that I thought looked awesome from the get go. But like this just I think improved it because one, they confirmed that you do not need the little toys to actually play it.
No,
you don't. The toys are optional. They just give you better shit essentially.
Yeah.
There's stuff that optional. It's optional stuff that you do not need to actually complete the game.
And big bombshell is that the Switch version will have Star Fox content.
Woo!
Like as soon as I was kind of like it looked interesting, but I was kind of like half paying attention to the trailer because I'm like, yeah, okay, it looks like a better No Man's Sky, okay. And then as soon as Fox showed up, I'm like, a what? So they announced that the Switch version is going to have Star Fox content. There's going to be a special edition for the Switch that comes with a model of Fox and the R-Wing. That's cool. Like, we didn't get a Star Fox game this year, but at least we got something. So yeah, I believe that comes out in October. I don't remember the exact release date, but I believe it comes out sometime in October. And then... Oh, I forgot to mention something. This conference was, like, star-studded because they had, like, real-world celebrities come out to talk about the games. I forgot to mention the Beyond Good and Evil thing where they had Joseph Gordon-Levitt come out.
Yeah.
They had Joseph Gordon-Levitt come out to say that his company, Hit Record, is collaborating with Ubisoft and the fans to have fan-produced content be part of the game. So that's cool.
They're working on getting, like, visual arts and musical put into it.
Yeah.
From fans. So
they're basically, and he specified it's not a competition, it's collaboration. So anyone can submit either professional or amateur stuff, and they'll handpick stuff to put in the game, and that's pretty cool because it gets fans directly involved with like a big budget thing. And I was watching the IGN panel afterwards, and one of the people on the panel brought up a good point. Like if you're trying to get into the industry, this is a great opportunity for that because that would look great on a resume. Like, hey, I have artwork or music in Beyond Good and Evil 2. Like,
I submitted my face.
Well, Spencer and I, Digital, who is in character design, that she gets involved with this because it could really help her out.
Yeah, that could really boost your credibility.
Yeah.
Next star-studded appearance was when Elijah Wood came out on stage to talk about Transference, which was the VR game that they announced last year. They showed a new trailer for this, and it looks like neon, creepy horror game in VR with Elijah Wood. It just looks weird, and I kind of dug it.
And nope.
And nope.
That's a nope for me.
I'm gonna play it, but nope.
Nope.
I'm not even gonna play it.
Yeah, I probably won't either, just because it's VR.
In VR, but if I could play it, I would though, because
Yeah.
I play everything and I'm insane. So.
Next up, they had a new trailer for The Crew 2, which I don't think anyone really cared about, but what they showed looked cool. And it comes out, like, in 3 weeks. Like, it comes out at the end of June. And they announced an open beta on the 21st. So, like, a week before release, they're having a beta to test out the servers. Because this game is, like, fully shared universe driving game.
If they're rating that course to the beta, that means they probably have a lot of faith in the actual game. So that's a good sign.
So yeah, that comes out on the 29th of June. And then the last thing that Ubisoft showed, the big thing from the conference, was the new Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Takes place in ancient Greece. And they showed a lot. They showed an extended trailer and an extended gameplay demo. You have the option to be a male or a female. And
the female, That's all I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
And then they also announced afterwards that it has full romance options and you can be gay.
You can be a sexy lesbian assassin.
Like, this was like the E3 of gay. This was like gay 3 this
Gay
year.
3.
Yeah.
Gay.
Because there was tons of gay representation all over the place, not just in Odyssey. But they showed an extended demo. It looks very similar to the foundation that they built with Origins last year, but just improved upon. And they showed that it's very much more RPG-ish than a lot of previous Assassin's Creed games have been, because they showed that you have dialogue options, they showed that you have fully upgradable abilities and skill trees, you have obviously romancing options, that's a big thing. It just looked a lot more RPG than a lot of other Assassin's Creed games have. And
not a bad thing.
Not a bad
thing.
And they announced that it comes out, I believe, October
6th.
6th.
Yeah, it's like early October. I am excited as hell. Assassin's Creed Origins was a great return to form for the franchise after a little bit of poo. So I'm happy. Going into RPG, I think is the obvious next step, considering the fact that that pretty much the Assassin's Creed template needs a shake up, considering that's been the same for since like it first came out. And I'm just happy that that the game is as good as it does, and I can be a sexy lesbian assassin, which is all that matters.
So yeah, I mean, I've never been into Assassin's Creed, so I'm like, whatever.
This might be a good starting point, to be honest.
Like, I've played Assassin's Creed games before, and I've just never been into them.
Mm-hmm.
So, who knows?
I really like Assassin's Creed. It's one of my favorite series. I got into it much later.
Yeah.
But I still love it. I know Spencer said that he won't touch another Assassin's Creed game after Syndicate because going back in time doesn't interest him.
He's an idiot. So it's one of those things where he's literally limiting him because he doesn't like one thing.
Yes, please. Well, now that he's gone, slander him to no end.
I'll fucking slander him when he's here. So like,
no,
we
do. We don't stop.
Yeah,
no.
There's nothing holding us back.
I was on the fence for this. I love Assassin's Creed up until they announced the 2 characters that you can play as, and I'm just like, this is a step towards diversity, and I love it. It's great.
Yeah, it is.
So anyway, that was it for Ubisoft's conference. Aaron, what did you think of it?
Okay, 4 titles made it on my list from this, so this was the most titles out of any conference.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, Beyond Good and Evil 2 was on there because why the fuck not? It looks fantastic.
It looked amazing. Even though they didn't show much gameplay, it still looked fantastic.
Finally, this game is happening. Finally.
It looks great. I want to play it. It looks... there's nothing else to say about that. That's all for that one. Skull and Bones is my most anticipated game from the past year. I am still anticipated for it, and I just want it out now. Yeah. The Division 2, what really sold me on this one, this conference sold me on it, and the reason it sold me on it was because they actually showed you that the game has a little more story behind it. Up until that point, they hadn't shown much story in it.
Mm-hmm.
And when they announced that there was going to be some story, I'm just like, okay, I can get into this.
I just don't care about the Division, man.
Yeah, well, usually not, but the story is what sells me on it.
Yeah. So,
and of course, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah. So, Matt, what did you think of Ubisoft's show this year?
It was a standard Ubisoft show. I enjoyed
show.
It. Once again, Aisha Tyler is missing in action, and I'm pretty sure she's been kidnapped. But
she's probably locked in transference somewhere.
She's locked in. That's the whole game. We have to find.
You have to save Aisha Tyler.
So that way she can be back, but next easy. I really there's a lot of stuff that I really enjoyed. My best, obviously, Assassin's Creed was my favorite of the show. Just because, if you introduce romance options in a game, yeah, you have me sold. It doesn't matter how the rest of the game could be absolute dog shit.
It could be. It very well could be.
Yeah, the rest of the game can be dog shit. But if I can romance somebody, sign me the fuck up.
Hey, Anthem doesn't have romance options.
You fucking dumb.
Yeah, I will say Anthem is my second most anticipated game right now.
BioWare without a fucking romance option? Are you actually shitting me? But whatever. Assassin's Creed Odyssey looks great. Beyond Good and Evil, I'm so happy this thing's happening, dude.
Yeah.
It's been years since the first game. The first game is a personal favorite of mine, and I cannot wait for this sequel. I absolutely cannot wait. And
hey, Bones,
I don't know.
What did you think of Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
It's 2018, motherfuckers!
There we go. Continue.
Yeah, I agree. I think Division 2 looks leagues better than the first game.
I will give it that. It looks leagues better than the first game.
It looks leagues better. It looks leagues better. I think Transference looks dope. Well,
I mean, it's Elijah Wood. How could it not?
Oh, that reminds me. You missed one of those major stars that showed up. For the Starlink at the end, they had...
Oh, they had Miyamoto!
He looks so happy to be there.
I forgot all about Miyamoto because it wasn't as intricate as last year's.
But no, they brought him in and they gave him a free copy of Starlink with
They gave him a fucking R-Wing figure and he was happy.
He looked so happy. He was pure. It was pure.
It's honestly weird seeing Miyamoto at anything but a Nintendo event.
But it's obvious to me that he loves working with Ubisoft.
He really likes Ubisoft.
Yeah.
For a guy who's been notoriously protective of his characters, the fact that he's
just throwing them at Ubisoft, man. Like, take them.
That probably says a lot. I think but Ubisoft has yet to let us down with that shit, though.
True.
I'm pretty sure that he probably. And it's like, so that's why I'm like, when Miyamoto is involved with something and it's like, hey, I'm giving the characters to someone else, I'm like, you know what? I would be worried, but since Miyamoto is so big on fucking quality control, I trust them. I fucking trust them.
I have no reason not to.
I say when people were worried that because Illumination got the Mario movie rights, but Miyamoto's like heavily involved in like a writing and producing capacity. So I'm like, you know what? Normally I would be worried, but if he sees something in that, then I trust him. Like I'm just gonna let them do their thing, and this makes a lot of and also having Star Fox and Starlink is so fucking obvious.
Yeah, that's fucking. It makes perfect sense.
And does that mean Starlink is actually a Star Fox game?
Yes, it's canon Star Fox now.
It's canon Star Fox.
So.
Would it be better than Star Fox Zero?
Oh yeah, anything is better than Star Fox Zero.
Star Fox Command is better than Star Fox.
Oh, I actually really liked that game when I was like 10.
I actually like that. Command's actually good. I actually like.
Yeah. So, final verdicts on Ubisoft's conference. Let's get some scores in here, Aaron.
What? You cut out there for a second.
Score.
Final score for Ubisoft.
Ubisoft, I'm going to give... Oh, this is tough. I'm torn between a 7 and an 8 for this one. I think I'm going to go with 8 just because so many titles got onto my list from there.
Yeah.
So.
Okay,
Yeah.
Matt, what's your final score for Ubisoft?
I need to think about that.
I know what mine is.
I'm going to give this conference a fever dream out of Miyamoto.
King, you haven't given a serious score all day, motherfucker.
Is it? Look, man. I scores are to me for conferences. Scores are arbitrary. I think I should let my words do the talking rather than the numbers.
Fine, be that way.
Yeah.
Anyway, for me, I'm gonna give Ubisoft a 7. I don't think it was as good as last year's show because last year's show was like surprisingly good for Ubisoft standards.
Top tier.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give this one a 7. They showed off quite a bit that looked interesting, but I don't know, man. Like, half of their IPs I'm just not interested in. I don't care about The Crew. I don't care about For Honor. I don't care about The Division. I don't care about Assassin's Creed. So even though they showed off a lot of quality stuff here, it's just half of it I have no interest in. So I'm gonna give them a 7. The stuff they showed that I had real interest in looked really good. So they had a solid show this year. All right, we're almost done, boys. We got 2 more to go through.
And can we blast through these pretty quickly because it's starting to run a little long?
Yeah. The clusterfuck that was Sony's conference. Let's get into this. So
Yeah, that was a mess.
Sony's was a technical mess too.
Yeah.
The stream died halfway through. Sony's actual stream of it died, so you had to switch the fucking Twitch stream of it.
Yeah. I was watching.
Yeah.
I was watching through IGN, and we had no issues. So.
And I was watching it for the Sony's Twitch. It died there. It also died on their YouTube. And then I had to watch it on the Twitch stream. And then they also what happened is they fucking is that they were having audio issues the entire time. Like, the thing was just a mess.
Yeah. Let's get into it. So they started the conference off in this fucking tent, and
It really didn't look like a tent, though.
it didn't look like a tent. It looked like a fucking barn house.
It looked like a church
yeah.
to praise our Lord and Savior Sony.
Yeah. So, a really weird way to start off, but once they got into the first game, you understood why. They started with a demo for The Last of Us 2. Very extended demo. There was a lot of story and also gameplay stuff shown here. So, it followed Ellie at, like, a dance in this church, barnhouse type thing. And
You see Glenn?
Yeah, and she goes on the dance floor with a new female character, Dina, and it's 2018, boys, because fuck, they get into it.
I think what is probably the most realistic kiss I have ever seen in a video game.
Honestly, I was like, man, is this just real people making out? Like, what?
I felt awkward. I'm like, should I leave? Should I give these two a room? Should I let them?
Should I just let them do their thing?
Because they're obviously enjoying that.
Obviously. Well, it came out. This was completely mocap, so this was real ass people fucking making out. You can tell. It was the actual actresses. You can fucking tell.
Apparently, to get the lip movements, they actually had to kiss the air for a bit, and that was funny.
But so they start making out, and I love the editing of this demo because it transitions smoothly from panning across her head as they're kissing to her ripping out a dude's jugular. And it's like, ugh, what? Fuck, Ellie, my sweet child. Then they got into a gameplay demo where Ellie was trying to sneak past these armed bandits, and she had a confrontation with them, and she fucking annihilated all of them. And it ended with her, like, literally decapitating a dude with a machete. And then it cut back to the barn house where they're finishing their kiss. And then she has a sweet smile. And then Last of Us Part 2, this was the highlight for me of this entire conference because it looks so fucking good.
Oh my god, this game's gonna rip my heart out. Ugh.
I just love the duality on display of not just Ellie and her mental psyche, but just of humanity in general during this time. Because it was just really well done, and I really liked it. And then we get into the dark times of Sony's conference, aka 15 minutes of nothing.
Yeah, that was really weird.
So let me get into it. So they had the barn set up for the Last of Us demo, just that. So once that was done, they literally had to cut to intermission so they could move the entire audience into the auditorium to continue the rest of the conference. Really stupid move on Sony's part because it brought the pace of the entire thing to a fucking crawl. And I'm sure they lost a lot of people in that intermission.
Yeah, which sucks because the rest of the games they showed were excellent.
Because after that, they got back on track. So they got into intermission as they were moving everyone to the auditorium. They had a panel there talking about some other stuff. There were a couple small announcements in between. They announced that a new game plus mode is coming to God of War. That's cool if you play God of War. I haven't.
You should. It's really freaking good. I love it.
They
I
announced
still need to beat it.
this fucking Call of Duty. They announced remastered Black Ops maps are coming to Black Ops 3 and 4. Cool, I guess.
Yeah, this is
I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I really don't.
This is cool. Yeah, no, this is cool because they have firing range as part of the game. Back, yes, I'm happy. Firing range is great.
Anyway, and then they announced a new Destiny 2 expansion called Forsaken. I guess Cade 6 is gonna die. Fucking who knows? Fuck, I guess. And then after that, it was just a lot of dead air. Like those 3 announcements were like in the span of like 7-8 minutes, and then there was like another 10 of just dead air. So like clearly it took them longer to get everyone over than they thought it would. So really stupid move on Sony's part, because our friend Adam, who couldn't make it, was completely right. They should have ended with Last of Us so that there wasn't as much of a fucking gap at the beginning. Because if you put that at the beginning, you're going to get a lot of people tuning out.
Yeah.
But once they got back to the auditorium, it started to pick up. They showed the gameplay demo for Ghost of Tsushima, Sucker Punch's new game. This looks outstanding. Like, just
And
on
you
it.
can't forget the musical numbers.
Yeah, there was their banjo dude for Last of Us and fucking windpipe dude for Ghost of Tsushima, Didgeridoo, who honestly wasn't that great, but whatever.
Look, man, it's Japanese music. I love Japanese music.
So they showed a gameplay demo for Ghost of Tsushima. It looks fucking outstanding. Like, the world is so beautifully realized.
Looks like an old samurai movie.
It looks like an old
I
school.
still have no idea what's going on with that because they have different villains and timelines just don't match up. But whatever.
It's based more on Japanese folklore than it is Japanese history.
Okay,
So
that makes more sense.
As they described it as a take on Japanese history. So it's basically what the Japanese did with the old samurai films, is that they would take multiple timelines and like combine them into what kind of was like more in the style of like the Legend of a Samurai or some shit.
Yeah. So anyway,
Which is fucking cool.
so they showed the gameplay demo. It was really intricate. Like, it seemed like a main storyline quest, but it came out afterwards that was just a side quest in the game. The whole big story moment of his comrade being a fucking traitor and fighting him was just a side quest, I guess.
Which makes me
holy
think that
fuck.
which means that there's a lot of stuff going on in the game, I'm gonna imagine.
There's going to be a lot of stuff going on in this game. Much like Last of Us 2, they didn't announce a release date for this, not even like a release year. So it's coming out whenever it's done.
This game looks gorgeous. It's probably the most beautiful game of E3, not gonna lie. This was the game that impressed me the most on a visual scale.
So, moving on. They announced some smaller stuff after this. They announced... Is Justin Roiland just a game developer now? Because he's cranking fucking games out, man. Because they announced Trover Saves the Universe, which is a new Justin Roiland game.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks stupid and fucking weird, just like everything Justin Roiland does.
It looks like Rick and Morty. So
is Justin
Rick and
Roiland
Morty.
just a game developer now? Because he's
don't
cranking
know.
these things out.
I don't know.
Because granted, they had the Rick and Morty VR game. They had Accounting VR. He's got that weird pool game coming out for the Switch, and he's got this.
I'm pretty sure Justin Roy. Here's the thing. He probably cranks them out because he's like, he gets really high, and he's like, "Yo, what if we do this?
What if we make Rick and Morty a 3D platformer?
Oh no, the guy's dead. Fuck.
Oh, bathtub guy got electrocuted. Oh no.
Oh no.
So-
The trailer made me laugh.
Yeah.
So like, it did its job.
I mean, it's Rick and Morty humor, so you know what to expect.
It's like, so if you don't like it, it's not for you. If you like it, you get it. Basically.
So they announced that. That's coming out soon. And then they got into probably the biggest reveal from Sony's conference, the biggest surprise. Resi 2 Remastered is finally being made. Resi 2 Remake is finally happening.
We knew
Spencer was flipping shit at this.
Yeah, we knew we were gonna get that. This was announced a while ago.
We knew it was happening because they said they were working on it a couple of years ago, but there's been nothing since. But they showed a full trailer for it at Sony show.
Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah,
It's RE4 style.
It's being completely remade from the ground up. It's being tweaked for a modern gameplay style. You're right, it does look a lot like Resi 4. So yeah, that's cool. And it comes out in January. So that's coming out really soon.
Yeah. I you know what? I didn't know the perspective of that rat. So I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
I was confused as to what this was.
As soon as the zombie showed up, I was like, "Oh, it's fucking Resi."
Yeah, and I'm like, no, I saw the poop, and I'm like, wait a minute, and I saw what it said. It said fucking Raccoon City on it, and I'm like, no, it can't be.
And then Leon shows up, and it's like, ah.
Yeah.
So that's happening. That's coming out in January. That's cool. Then they announced a new game from Remedy Studios called Control.
This was dope.
It looks basically like a lot like Quantum Break, but with a female pro tag.
It looks like Quantum Break with a female pro tag, and you thought Quantum Break was trippy? You ain't seen shit.
Yeah.
This looks dope.
Yeah, so this basically, it looks kind of like a spiritual successor to Quantum Break, but they said that's coming out in 2019.
Yeah, so this is, I'm excited.
Yeah. Next up, they had Death Stranding.
Finally.
What is this game?
What is this game? No,
Still, what is it? They showed actual gameplay, and it just created more questions than answers.
According to does have a theory for this one.
No release date.
No release date, yeah. Probably next
Spencer has a theory for this, actually. He suggested that we found out in this one that the invisible monsters, whatever they are, when they touch you, they speed up time for that object.
That's confirmed.
Yeah.
By the way.
So, yeah, that's what we found out. But his theory is that, like, this guy just can't die because even if they speed up the time past it, he just comes back as, like, the baby or something.
Yeah. Apparently Norman Reedus is in an infinite loop of rebirth, and he's also the baby. So fucking what?
I feel this is what this game, according to Kojima, this game is only classified as an action game because it's a genre that has never been made in a game before. It was similar to how Metal Gear Solid, when it came out, was not classified as a stealth game because the stealth genre didn't exist at the time of Metal Gear Solid. Yeah. So he said, I don't know what this game is. This trailer, literally, we actually have gameplay and like what this game is going to look like now, and we know less about the game actually after this trailer.
Norman Reedus is your baby delivery man.
He's a baby delivery man. He has the game looks visually gorgeous. I'm pretty sure this is all just one giant metaphor for something. Probably like for life and death and all that fun jazz. It looks spooky. When the fucking the light thing on his that he has to look at the ink monsters things, that spook. Yeah, it spooked me. It seems that Kojima just got a bunch of big name actors and was like, yo, you want to do this really weird fucking shit? You got Norman Reedus, you got Mads Mikkelsen, you got Lea Seydoux, you got Del Toro, you got all these big name actors and people involved.
AAA cast, the video game.
It's like a David Cage game, but if David Cage was a good writer. I'm just excited for Death Stranding so I can finally figure out what the fuck this thing is.
No release date, so we still have no idea when this is coming out.
Yeah.
But it's happening, I guess.
They're keeping it really under wraps.
Yeah. Moving on. Moving on, they announced they had a trailer for a game that I wasn't too sure what it was at first because it was samurais and they were fighting like monsters, and I'm like, what could this be? The last thing I thought was what it actually was, which was Neo 2.
I thought it was Onicron, dude.
Yeah, I had no idea what it was, and then I was like, yeah, that makes sense. So, a sequel to Neo has been confirmed. It's coming out sometime in the future.
Yeah.
I know it's bullshit. And then they ended the conference with another gameplay demo of Spider-Man, which I agree with Adam. They probably should have started with Spider-Man and then ended in the auditorium with, like, Death Stranding and then moved for Last of Us. But I digress. They showed a new demo for Spider-Man. And this is probably the coolest demo we've seen so far, just because we get a better look at what the roster of villains is going to be. Because Spidey's trying to stop a jailbreak from Electro, and he breaks out the Rhino, he breaks out Scorpion, he breaks out Vulture. And then Mr. Negative shows up, and they all beat the shit out of Spider-Man.
And it's like, yeah, there's 5 of them, and it's like we have one more leader, and you all know what that means. Sinister Six, boys, Sinister fucking Six.
Yeah, and then there was a 6th currently unnamed villain who was kept secret because I guess they love fucking cock blocking, but whatever.
It's Goblin.
I swear to God. But yeah, this was probably the coolest gameplay demo that we've seen so far, at least in my opinion. Because it showed off a lot of the combat and how versatile it is with in interacting with the environments. Showed off a lot more web swinging, and the web swinging looks fucking dope as shit. And then we get a better look at the villains, so we finally know who's actually in this game other than Mr. Negative, because we all knew it wasn't just going to be him.
And outside of that, we know other villains going to be in the game. We got Kingpin in the game, Taskmaster's in the game, Shocker's in the game. So those are just the ones that we know. And probably we haven't even seen the final roster. I don't think it's gonna be more that they're gonna show off. I would imagine probably Mysterio could be in the game. I don't know.
Who knows?
Spencer and I are really speculating Mysterio.
I don't think Mysterio's the guy there.
I honestly don't think Mysterio will be in this.
I don't think Mysterio's the guy there. I think it's either Goblin or it's another hero.
I speculated Nova just because he was glowy, and that's all I ever thought of. Like, man, he's glowy. Could it be Nova?
Why
that's
would
how
it
my
be
brain works.
Nova? But
I'm honestly more leaning towards Doc Ock, but that's just me.
It makes. I mean, okay, if it's Sinister Six, it does actually make sense if it's Ock. But they've confirmed Norman Osborn's in the game and that he has a big plot role. So honestly, I'm thinking it's Goblin. I think it's Goblin.
Who knows?
Or it's Taskmaster.
Who knows?
That could be interesting, actually.
This is getting us nowhere, so let's keep going.
But yeah, so fucking shut up. But so they showed this demo. Comes out September 7th. It's literally 3 months away. Can't wait to play it. That's where they ended the conference, and then they had a little bit of a post-show where they announced FromSoft is making a artsy-fartsy VR game called, how do you pronounce this? Kerosene?
Kerosene.
It's Kerosene. It's basically a VR game that seems to be like very story-based and atmosphere-based. That's what I'm guessing.
Extremely different from everything else that FromSoft has ever made.
It appeals to one person and one person only.
And that's you.
And that's me, because I like this type of shit. So, there's 2 kinds of things I like. Dumb action shit.
And artsy-fartsy.
And artsy-fartsy experimental stuff that pushes the boundaries of narrative. So it's one of those things where it appeals to literally only me. I don't know, it's probably gonna, I mean, it's from software, so it's probably gonna be good.
So yeah, that was it for Sony. They ended with Spider-Man, and then they had a bit of a mini post show where they showed off this game and an extended Spider-Man demo.
That looks lit.
Did we talk about Kingdom Hearts 3?
Oh, yeah, right, I forgot all about... Fuck, I knew I forgot.
They showed off the Pirates of the Caribbean world!
Yeah, shut up, I'll get into it. Okay, so they showed a new trailer for KH3. Pirates of the Caribbean's coming back, and it looks like holy fuck.
It looks exactly like it looks like they're adapting World's End for this game.
Yeah, they are. So they showed off a lot. There's full swimming again, but you're not a mermaid this time. It's just you can swim now.
Because that was the most annoying shit.
They showed off a lot of the flow motion going through the ocean. Haha, rhyme. You can grind on the fucking smoke. Okay.
Because that makes sense.
And then they showed off. And then they showed off a lot more story stuff. They showed Axel and Kyrie in this trailer.
I love Kyrie.
Did you just fucking cream in your jeans?
No, I may have. I don't know. But I love Kyrie. When I saw, and it is my wife.
Yeah. So yeah, okay, that was it for Sony. I swear, that was it. Let's get into this. Who wants to start with thoughts? Matt, you want to start?
Mess. It was a mess. But other than that, the games were great. It was a mess, but the games they showed great, and I loved and all 4 of the major gameplay demos with Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, and Death Stranding all were fantastic. Some of the best of E3, actually. I would argue that they were some of the highlights of E3 in general.
The Last of Us alone, like.
I think The Last of Us, if it wasn't for one other game that we're going to get to, would be my pick for E3. Because the first Last of Us game is, without a doubt, one of the best games ever made.
I agree.
And this game looks better than that. And that should tell you a lot about just how good that was. The moment that sticked out to me in that trailer, besides the absolute 100% gay, was
and the gaping hole in that guy's throat.
No, and the gay. Yeah, get it, gaping. There was that bottle. Was that when Ellie picked up the bottle and threw it in one clean motion?
Yeah, you don't have to start and stop for that anymore.
When that happened, I almost jumped out of my window. In excitement.
Oh my god, she picked up a bottle.
I was that was amazing, and they fucking disemboweled a man too on stage.
Yeah,
this game looks brutal.
Yep, they hung a man and they tore his guts out.
And I'm like, they did that live at E3 for the world to see. This Ghost of Tsushima looks stunning. Death Stranding is
stupid.
Death Stranding. Spider-Man looks like dumb action, and I love it.
I just want Spider-Man. Fuck.
I want to fucking follow Spider-Man.
Spider-Moon.
Spoodman. And then there's they also confirmed that Miles Morales is in the game, so that's that. Yeah. That's that.
Well, yeah, they did that. They did that a couple months ago.
Yeah, but Black Cat will also be playable too. Apparently.
Fucking what?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I think? I think if there's a Spider-Man character in this game, they're probably in it. That seems to be what it is. But honestly, I think outside of the 4 main demos, I think the highlight for me was probably Kingdom Hearts. Because that continues to be the best one that they showed off.
Yeah,
I was very impressed with the graphics for the new Pirates of the Caribbean world.
The new Pirates world looks fantastic.
Calypso's there. I'm so happy. I also think I know it's gonna sound like heresy. I don't care about Neo.
That's fine.
I don't care about Neo. Not because I haven't. It's not that I don't hate Neo. I just never played Neo.
I mean, we're getting a better Neo with Sekiro, so.
Neo. I've heard the first Neo is a lot of fun, and I'm pretty sure I would love it. It's one of those things that I've been wanting to play it. I've just never gotten on to play it, so I don't care about Neo 2 that much.
You know, you should talk to Alex. He has a copy of it.
I don't have a console though, so
he doesn't have a
Fair.
PS4.
I don't have money.
Bro, get a fucking console.
I don't have money.
Don't start with him. I swear, I'll kick you off right now.
I'm teasing, you know that.
I need a job first. I do have plans though that once I get money, I'm planning to get an Xbox One X. So
yeah, that's probably a smart move.
Yeah, no, I want to get both a PS4 and an Xbox One X, but Xbox One.
So, Aaron, what did you think of Sony's show?
Honestly, I didn't think that we would get The Last of Us 2 announced like this, simply because they were really pushing the Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit.
Well, they announced it like 2 years ago, and they said that they were focusing on it this year. Like I
didn't get any notice of that. So when I was watching through it and they were saying about Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, I was just like, yeah, I'm thinking that they're not going to announce Last of Us 2 yet. But
yeah, they announced that like a few years ago, actually.
Yeah, well, whatever. Tells you how much I'm into the gaming industry. Yeah, I mean, it was a decent conference. That beginning was atrocious, but they made up for it with all the games afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not really much I can say about Sony.
Yeah. I agree with both of you. Like, structural mess, and honestly, they almost fucked everything up right at the beginning. But they did bring it back around, and they did show off some really cool stuff. So, yeah, definitely a lot weaker than their previous conferences. It just seems like every year since 2014, Sony's conferences have just been getting kind of declining in quality, slowly but surely.
I can't wait till next year where it's literally going to be 30 minutes long and nothing but fucking dreams.
I can't wait. Yeah, what the fuck was going on with Dreams? Like,
They were showing off like the the whole music stuff was like some of the stuff you could do with Dreams. Honestly, Dreams looks fucking awesome. That's a game that's hard to market, so I don't know what they were trying to do.
yeah.
Dreams
So-
looks fucking awesome, I'm not gonna lie.
But no Spyro at this conference,
I don't think we needed Spyro though. We all know what Spyro's gonna be like.
and again, no FF7.
We needed that.
So,
Although there's a rumor that's going to the Xbox One as well.
oh
So
boy, okay.
there's a rumor that that's also a rumor that's one of the reasons they had to restart it was because they needed to make it upgrade it for the Xbox One.
The
X.
power of the Xbox One X.
They needed to upgrade it, and apparently the engine wouldn't. So
All in all, I'm gonna give Sony. I'm torn between a 6 and a 7 because
give it a 7.
I'm gonna
because
give
of the
it.
games.
I'm gonna give it a 7 because the structure was awful, but they made up for it with the games. So what do you guys think?
I'll give it a 6. I think that there's not a lot on here that I was really driven to, but like they were very well done. So I'll just give it a 6.
Matt?
Well, you know me. I'm gonna give this a Kojima out of Kojima.
A
'Cause,
Hideo out of Kojima.
a Hideo out of Kojima, because that's pretty much after I left the conference, all I could think of was, what the fuck is Death Stranding?
Perfect. Okay, let's move on to our last conference.
Nintendo.
Our big boys, Nintendo. Oh, weird conference this year, to be honest. But
Yeah, really
let's
weird.
get into it. So they start off no fucking around. They start off right with games. They showed this crazy looking mech game that looked fucking rad as shit, and I honestly thought as I was watching it that this was being made by Platinum. But it's called Daemon X Machina. It is a mech action game, not being developed by Platinum, surprisingly. That's coming out next year exclusively for the Switch.
It looks very Japanese.
It looks so good. Anyway,
Yeah.
then they moved on. They announced some story DLC for Xenoblade 2 called Torna the Golden Country. A completely new plotline, new environments, new enemies, all that jazz.
Excited.
That's coming out in September.
Ooh.
I really need to get this game.
I mean, Xenoblade, so, like, yes,
Yeah.
you do.
So this is coming out in September. And then finally, after that, Reggie came out in someone's house, which I assume he kidnapped them so he could use it.
God damn it, Reggie.
So he came out and he's like, yo, Nintendo Switch is cool and we're connecting people all over the world and we got some good games, so let's show you some more good games. And then they went into it and they announced a new Mario Party called Super Mario Party.
It doesn't look like dog shit.
It doesn't look like dog shit. Let's get into it. So they showed some gameplay of it. It looks like it's going back to the traditional classic Mario Party style where it's a full board game, 4 players moving individually from one another, collecting coins, buying stars, all that jazz. They showed some cool stuff with the actual Switch tablet itself, where one of the main examples they gave was there was a top-down tank game where they connected 2 switches in various different formations to change the layout of the map. So they're doing some interesting things with the mini games this time around. Hopefully, they go more in depth with those and make a lot of those with some
That could
cool
be great.
mechanics.
That could be fun.
Yeah, so Super Mario Party is coming out October 5th, so it's coming out this year.
I can't wait for friendships to be ruined on the Switch.
Yeah. And then they got into some more about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. They showed some more gameplay. They talked more about the Pokeball Plus and how it works. And they revealed that each Pokeball Plus comes with a Mew included. So everyone who buys one of those gets a free Mew.
Oh shit! Yeah. I want a Mew. Mew's adorable.
If it can evolve into a Mewtwo, let's go.
The answer is that it can't, because Mew does not evolve into Mewtwo.
Well, you know what? A guy can dream.
Shows how much you know about Pokemon.
Literally, I've only played Red and Y. That's all the Pokemon I've ever played.
Yeah, so
You're missing the best games.
all you need to know is that Mew does not evolve into Mewtwo. Mew is also after Mewtwo in the Pokédex.
Well, fuck me, okay? I don't play Pokemon now.
I know, no. It's not a bad thing. I'm just letting you now. The more you know.
But
It's my jam.
But I am a Gen 1
true.
boy, so seeing as how this is a Gen 1 remake, I honestly, it
Maybe
looks
this
really
will-
good.
Maybe this will let you get you back into Pokemon. Who
Yeah,
knows?
who knows? So that's these games are coming out November 16th, and the Pokeball Plus is releasing along with them. So there's that. And then they got into some Fire Emblem. They finally revealed the Fire Emblem game for Switch that they announced a while ago. It's called Fire Emblem Three Houses. And it basically looks like Fire Emblem on console. That's all I can really say about it.
It reminds me of Path of Radiance and stuff, pretty much. If you like Fire Emblem, it is Fire Emblem. I don't know how. It looks like the one thing that I noticed that was very different was that it looks like it has armies now.
Yeah, it definitely did.
That's the one thing that I noticed. So I'm like, is this Total War? But if you like Fire Emblem and you like really anime, you'll like this.
If you like super anime,
then you'll like Fire Emblem, because Fire Emblem is the most anime that is ever animated.
yes. So they announced that it got delayed because it was originally slated to come out this year. It's now slated for spring 2019. So it got pushed back.
Makes sense.
Moving on, they went into some... they showed the Octopath trailer that was basically at Square Show. Again, new demo coming out today, the 14th. Save data carries over, yada yada yada. Basically the same stuff. And then they got into some of the indie games and the third-party stuff. So they showed a couple of indie games. One of the big ones for me was Hollow Knight, which got announced for the Switch a while ago, but we hadn't heard anything about it. Fucking Reggie.
And it's available today.
It's available today. And I already have it on my Switch. So, hey.
Not free. It's
not free.
It's not free.
However, what was free...
Costs money.
What was free was Fortnite. So this was leaked out the ass before this anyway. So everyone knew it was coming, but they finally officially confirmed it. Fortnite is officially coming to Switch. It's available now. You can play it for free. But hopefully you haven't played it on PS4 before, because you won't get access to your account because Sony hates crossplay for whatever fucking reason.
For a fucking reason. I honestly, it's about time that Fortnite came. It's like it's a game that honestly seems perfect for the fucking Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
I played a little bit of Fortnite on PC. I actually like Fortnite. It's something that it definitely, if you play it with other people, it's a lot better than you play it by playing it by yourself.
Me, the guy who has zero interest in Fortnite or Battle Royale games, played it for free on my Switch. I played a single match. I shot a man and then got shot, and I finished second out of 100. Don't ask me how that happened.
It happens a lot. It's better when you play with other people. It's definitely better when you play with other people, because when you play with friends, you get into some fuck shit, and it's lots of fun. While playing with yourself, you're just playing with idiots online, so it's not really that fun.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're gonna play it with other people. Trust me, it's worth it. Just make sure to deal with that. You're gonna deal with dumb shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. So moving on, there's that. They showed a couple more indie games. They showed off Killer Queen Black, which is like this weird fighting game with bees.
Holy shit.
I don't fucking know, man. But that's coming out later this year. And they also showed off Overcooked 2, which I did play the first Overcooked. It's a fun party game, I guess.
I've heard Overcooked is fun, yes.
Overcooked is fun, and there's a sequel coming to the Switch later this year. And then they had their big Nindy third-party sizzle reel where they showed off a bunch of games. Too many to list, but there were a bunch of indie games in there. They showed some dates for games that we already knew were coming out. Captain Toad's coming out July 13th. Dark Souls Remastered still slated for the summer. Didn't get an actual date. The World Ends With You got pushed back to the fall. It was supposed to come out in the summer.
Yeah.
And then one of the bigger things for me was that Dragon Ball FighterZ is getting ported to the Switch. And you guys know me, I fucking love that game.
And now you can play it on the go.
And it came out afterwards that there's no graphical downgrade. It will run full 1080p 60 frames. So
the Switch is a surprisingly powerful console.
Anyway. Yeah, so there were a bunch of games in there. Too many to list off. I honestly don't remember many of them. But they showed off a bunch of stuff.
One standout to me was Paladins.
Paladins is available now on Switch. That's the one I do remember.
For free.
So if you want to play Paladins, you can. If you want to play Paladins, you can on your Switch.
Overwatch for poor people. That's pretty much what it is. It's fun, though. I like it.
So, yeah. So there was that. They showed off a bunch of games there. And then we moved on to the big thing, which was Smash. The rest of the conference was all Smash. It was like a 30-minute presentation exclusively for Smash.
Oh, it was long, but it was worth
long.
it.
There was a lot of stuff going on in there. So, first off, they had a trailer. They had a character reveal trailer. And the big surprise...
Character reveal.
They had a big surprise that literally every character in Smash history is coming back for this game.
Everyone.
Every single one.
Yeah, when they started doing the character review, like, the numbers indicating when they're like, when they started in the franchise. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. So that way we know like who's in the game and like what order they came in. Okay,
literally every character.
When fucking Snake showed up, I'm like, they're not doing this to me. And then they said everyone is here. I'm like, wait. And then I saw Pichu, 3 Links, fucking all the DLC characters.
All the DLC characters from Wii U and 3DS are coming back. So Bayo, Cloud, they're returning. Every character in Smash history is here.
Bayo's
every single one.
By the way.
Not Waluigi.
No Waluigi.
No Waluigi. He is an assist trophy, though.
He's an assist trophy.
He's still an assist trophy.
He's not a playable character.
They've added Bomberman as an assist trophy, too.
But not a playable character.
I'm kind of disappointed in that, actually, but whatever, at least
he's there.
At least he's in the game.
So yeah, every character is fucking playable. And then they got into the nitty-gritty, the really intricate details of all the characters. They're basically changing everything.
It looks more like Melee's dead, boys. Yeah. Melee is officially dead. It's over.
So everyone who was like, "Oh, it's just an enhanced port," no, not really. It's a new game because they wouldn't go out of their way to change so much if it was just an enhanced port. It's a brand new game.
I'm gonna slap everyone who said it was going to be an enhanced port.
So they showed off a lot. So many characters are getting like revamped movesets. Almost everyone is getting a new moveset. A lot of the final smashes are being redesigned to be more flashy and quick. The general speed of the game is being increased. It's more so closer to Melee, but not quite there. They're adding a lot of new mechanics, I think directly inspired by Melee. So basically, wave dashing is back. A lot of those like more advanced things are coming in some way, shape, or form. They announced Echo characters, which is their fancy new term for clones, basically.
Fancy new clones. So they're not reskins. They're still new characters.
They're new characters based off of other characters with slightly tweaked movesets.
And the first one is Daisy.
Yeah,
Daisy is joining the
Daisy
fight.
is joining the roster. Yay!
Daisy is joining the roster. Cool.
Yeah, cool. At least they acknowledge it. Fucking Wolf is back,
Wolf. I'm excited
and
for
he
Wolf.
looks rad as shit. And in
Yeah.
the fucking character art they showed, he's literally doing the Yamcha pose, so they're acknowledging it. So they showed off a bunch of stuff about the new mechanics and all the characters coming back and the new movesets and all that. They announced the Echo characters, and then they showed off the Inkling and the Inkling's moveset, seeing as how they're a new character. There's a lot of more intricate mechanics in the game. Like, for certain characters, they have certain, like, things that tick. For the Inkling, they have their ink, obviously. So when you run out of ink, your attacks get really weak. So you have to refill your ink in the middle of a fight, which I think is really cool. It really changes up the gameplay a lot.
Some characters will have like little icons on the bottom of their screen to like let you know that like if you pocket a item as a villager,
You can see the item.
You can see the item. You'll know how much, like if you play as Robin, you'll see how much how
magical
much
energy you have left.
left in your thing before it disappears. For Shulk, this is my favorite new addition.
Yes, this is cool.
You can choose the Monado like super fast now.
Yeah, he's got like a selection wheel.
Dude, and you can literally like change like in mid like jump now.
Yeah.
And it's super fast.
Because I did play as Shulk in the Wii U version. You had to do certain button commands to get the different.
You're standing B.
It's your regular B.
Yeah.
But now it looks like you can just do it really, really fast. Which is nice. Like all the characters are great. Shadow Boss's Island is back, which is fun.
After the conference, it was coming out that it seems like every stage in Smash history is coming back too, because there's like over 80 confirmed stages.
Oh my fucking god!
Wow.
You know what? This game is gonna be huge, dude.
So
This game is fucking
basically
huge.
every other Smash is like irrelevant at this point, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much about. Yeah, Melee's dead. Brawl's dead. 4's dead. It's over. It's just fucking over. It's gone. It is fucking fighters. Fuck fighters. Fighters some slop. This is the new fighting game. This is the.
Please, Matt, suck Nintendo's dick some more. Why don't you?
I look mad. This fuck.
So they showed a lot about Smash. Different matches will have different attributes too. Like if you deal more damage in a one-on-one fight than you have in like a free-for-all,
We will always face the enemy in a one-on-one fight, which is actually busted as fuck.
Yeah.
It's broken.
And then they got into the new character reveal, which the meme has become a reality. Ridley is officially playable in Smash. So everyone who said that Ridley couldn't make it, go
He was
fuck
too big.
yourselves.
2008, newcomer to Smash, Sonic is the first shown bumping into Mario in his reveal trailer. 2014, newcomer to Smash, Villagers first shown trapping Mario in a net in his reveal trailer. 2018, newcomer to Smash, Ridley fucking murders Mario in his reveal trailer.
Like I saw a tweet that was like my favorite thing. It was like, man, I can't believe I can't believe Nintendo murdered Mario to reveal Ridley.
Mario is dead, guys.
Mega Man's dead.
Mario and Mega Man, they're both fucking dead.
Wouldn't it be great?
Killed them.
Wouldn't it be great if they came out afterwards and they're like, yeah, Ridley actually murdered them, so they're gone from the roster. They're not coming.
What if when you're fighting Ridley like defeats someone with his final smash, they're actually gone from the game.
Yeah, they
Just
actually get
delete
deleted
it.
from the code.
Just delete it.
That would actually suck.
Fucking no, but Ridley looks great. I love how he plays.
So anyone who said he's too big, guess what? They scaled him down, you fucking idiots.
They scaled him down, and guess what? He's still fucking.
Yeah, he's like Donkey Kong Bowser size. He's a little bigger, but he's not gigantic.
He's the biggest character in the game. Although that makes it a problem because he has the biggest hitbox in the game, which means that he literally everything.
Which means that this game's already busted.
There was a video I saw of someone playing. It was Bayo versus Ridley, and Bayo literally did 80 damage in like 5 seconds to Ridley.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Sakurai. I've seen some glitches. I need to take a midnight flight back to the office to fix it.
And we all know Shane's gonna play Bayonetta though. Just because.
Fuck yeah! I never got to play Bayo in Smash 4 because I never got the DLC. So this will be my first time playing Bayo.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Bayo and then regret playing Bayo.
Yeah. So they revealed Ridley. Everyone freaked out, and then they revealed the name of the game, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. An official new game, not a port. Shut up.
And release date.
Yeah, they revealed the release date. It is coming this year, December 7th, which is a lot later than I think most people thought.
Merry Christmas, boys.
Yeah, later than most people anticipated, because a lot of people were like, oh, well, the online service is coming in September. The Smash is like the pivotal online game for Nintendo. It's got to release alongside it, right? Yeah,
no, it's coming out on December. Honestly, I actually expected it to come out in December. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, almost every other Smash game has come out around that time, so it's not surprising.
The only one that didn't was Brawl,
because it got delayed from December.
It got delayed from December so they can finish it.
Yep.
So
this one might get delayed. So like, hold your breath. Like,
I don't think it's going to.
This could. We never know.
This was pretty polished. So
yeah, and that's what they ended with, was that huge ass Smash presentation. Let's get some thoughts on this. Matt, what did you think of Nintendo? I know this was your personal favorite conference.
That was my thoughts.
Okay.
No, I was okay. Like, honestly, like, fucking, even outside of Smash, they show some really fucking great stuff. Like Fire Emblem. Yeah, that dope ass mech game. Yeah, new Xenoblade content. A whole bunch of indie titles.
Mario Party,
Hollow Knight available now. Like, it was just a great conference overall, but honestly, the fact is that Smash won E3 for Nintendo. They didn't need to do this. They didn't need to have every character in Smash history in the game. They really didn't. They could have gotten away with just a couple. They could have just been like, oh yeah, Snake is back. Maybe Pichu is back. Maybe
they didn't need to bring back Young Link.
They didn't they could have just maybe brought back a couple, and people would have still gone nuts. But no, you know what they did? They brought back literally everybody. Literally every character who's ever been in a Smash game is now in this game, which basically means that this is it is Ultimate Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's the ultimate.
Every other game is irrelevant now, so fuck off, Melee players.
Which means don't ask me for anything ever again.
Don't ask me for anything ever again. No. Sakurai straight out came out and say, so because everyone is in this game, don't expect too many new fighters.
Yeah, dude, Sakurai was savage in this fucking shit. Does fucking Sakurai? It's a game where you smash people.
That's it.
That's the game, and I'm like, Sakurai, please.
Daddy Sakurai, stop.
Yeah, but yeah, fucking loved it.
Aaron, thoughts?
Okay, so there were a few games that really stood out to me in this one. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because phenomenal game. I need to get that. It's on my list. Fire Emblem. I just wanted to mention something quickly. One of our friends on chat was slightly disappointed that they didn't get a Teleus port, but when they compared the maps, very similar, so they're thinking this might be somehow connected to that.
Yeah, true.
Woo.
Pokemon Let's Go. I've been a huge fan of Pokemon my entire life. Mm-hmm. This one I'm really apprehensive about.
It's not a main series game, so do not worry so much about it.
You're gonna get your new main series game next year.
It's definitely aimed at a younger audience, especially considering that that they have said that most of the trailers for it will be aimed specifically at a much younger audience than normal Pokemon fans.
Yeah.
So this is definitely.
Because Eevee, but
I'm still gonna get. Yeah, Eevee looks adorable. Yeah. So.
And then Smash. I don't even know what to say for Smash. Smash is just, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that really stood out to me. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah. Nintendo's conference was a weird one because while I don't think it was as good as last year's, because last year's was like
Incredible.
freaking top tier.
Yeah.
This was a very close second, and honestly a very close second for me in E3 in general. I still prefer Microsoft's just a little bit because of how many games they announced and the variety of the games that were shown off. But Nintendo was a very close second because they showed off, while they didn't show off a whole lot, everything they showed off looked fucking outstanding. Mm-hmm. So let's get into some scores, boys. Matt, give me your stupid score that doesn't even matter.
100 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a number for this one.
You had this planned, you motherfucker.
I did. I had this fucking. That's how I let. You know what? That's how I get you, son. I like to subvert your expectations. Call me Ryan Johnson because I have just subverted your fucking expectations.
I feel betrayed.
No, call me Blast of Tempest because we in Swerve City with me.
We just hit the detour for Swerve City.
God damn it, guys.
Fucking fuck. Okay. Aaron, what's your score?
I gotta give this an 8 out of 10.
An 8?
It wasn't as good as last year.
No.
But it was still very good.
I think I'm going to have to agree with Aaron. I'm going to give it a very high 8 out of 10. I believe that last year's was just a tad better, but everything they showed off here was great. Some of the third-party stuff really excited for, and Smash just looks freaking incredible. So, almost a 9, but it got held back by the fact that there was a lot of things surprisingly missing.
Where the fuck was Metroid?
No Metroid, no Yoshi, and yeah,
I think that'll be. Look, man, here's the thing: Nintendo puts out like mini conferences all the time, though. So I'm pretty sure that won't be an issue.
They'll probably talk about it in a direct sometime in the near future, but just not seeing those things there just made it feel a little empty in some parts.
Doesn't Metroid Prime 4 just have no developer though?
It's coming out of the ether.
Does it come out and it just exists?
It just exists. Like it has. There's no info on the box. It just says Metroid Prime 4 and there's a cart inside.
No, you put in the game and then you put in the game. It's not even Metroid Prime 4. It's just Metroid Prime 3 again. It's literally just the same game that you've already played, and people will buy it anyway.
People will buy it anyway.
Nintendo could do that.
It's just like, yeah, it's just the things that were strangely missing kind of held it back. So that's it. That was E3 2018. Every announcement from every conference. We kill ourselves every year doing this shit, but it's worth it because we get some cool Vigima games.
Yeah.
So let's wrap things up with just a really brief final thoughts on this year's E3 as a whole. So Matt, what were your final thoughts on E3 2018?
Aisha Tyler is still been kidnapped and missing in action.
Aisha's still missing. We need to #rescue.
And we need to rescue her. FF7 is nowhere to be found and is probably dead.
In a bitch. There was more Final Fantasy and Cloud in Nintendo's conference than anything else.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. Smash looks incredible. Everyone is gay. And EA still sucks.
EA still sucks.
Yep, and those are the brief summations. Oh, and Sony needs to get their act together for next year.
Yeah, Sony really needs to get their shit together. Don't do this again.
Because at this point, next year's conference is going to be doo-doo.
Yep. So, Aaron, what were your final thoughts on this year's E3?
I agree with everything that Matt said. Plus, Anthem is going to be lit. I'm so hyped for that. And I am Ubisoft and Nintendo's bitch, so.
I'm Ubisoft and Nintendo's bitch.
Okay. Good to know.
Anything you need to add?
I agree with you both. I thought this year was a really solid E3. Like a lot better than some of the previous years, just because I think Microsoft really knocked it out of the park this year. Everyone seemed to have brought their A game except Square and EA, but Sony kind of faltered, but hey, they showed some cool shit. Just really solid E3. Like, a lot of cool shit and a lot of really good world premieres for a lot of cool shit that's coming out. So yeah, good E3. Really solid E3. Really quick before we go, game of the show, everyone?
My game... Anthem, okay. Anthem's your game of the show.
Yeah.
Game of the show for me is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. That's my game of the show.
And my game of the show is Devil May Cry 5, just because it caught me off guard, and I got very excited for that. So I can't wait to play that. Definitely the most exciting announcement for me this year. So yeah. Oh, we're done. Oh my god, we're done. Okay.
It took 3 hours, but we're done.
Honestly, I expected nothing less. The E3 podcast always takes forever. But with that said, we're going to wrap up this special live edition of the Bearded Banter Podcast, our E3 special for 2018. Thank you to anyone who was watching this live on Twitch or anyone who's watching it on YouTube afterwards. Thank you very much. We will be back with Bearded Banter in a few weeks, so we can talk more about some cool gaming stuff. But yeah, E3 as a whole this year, really solid, and a lot of cool things were announced. So thank you for watching. I have been your host, Shane, the Bearded One. With me is my co-host, Matt Legion Rex. Say goodbye, Matt.
If you guys know where Isha Tyler is, please tell me. I am
Please
going to
tweet at him.
Please tweet at me if you know where Isha Tyler is, because I'm starting to get very worried.
Tweet at Legion Rex if you find Aisha Tyler, just so Matt knows she's safe.
I need to know she's safe because she's been missing for 2 years and there's been no word from Ubisoft. Ubisoft refuses to say anything about her existence, which makes me think that because we know that people who are kidnapped are usually kidnapped to those closer to them. I think, and here's a conspiracy theory, that Ubisoft has kidnapped Aisha Tyler and is now using her to fuel the Just Dance openings that's open every single one of their E3 conferences.
Like they murdered Aisha Tyler and siphoned out all of her blood.
No, they murdered Aisha. And made the panda suit out of her skin.
They turned her into the panda.
They turned her into the panda.
Oh, gross.
All right.
Anyway.
No, but in any case, it has been a very good podcast.
Yes. And I would say with me is our lovely recurring guest, Spencer, but he had to leave. So I'll give him a final statement for him.
Do it in your Spencer voice.
Video games, woo. That's all I got.
There we go.
There you go.
There it is.
And also joining us for the first time is our very good friend, Aaron. Say goodbye, Aaron.
Bye. Hope to be back. I'll talk to you guys later then.
Yeah, we hope to have you back. Hopefully, you'll fix your mic quality by then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not using my actual setup right now, so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was nice having you on, and we'll be sure to get you on more so in the future. So, thank you for watching. We're going to end things here. Thanks for watching live on Twitch or on YouTube afterwards. We'll see you in a couple weeks for a new installment of Bearded Banter. And who knows, we might be streaming these from now on, because it's a much more streamlined method of doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, with that said, we're going to wrap up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Keep on gaming, everyone.